Doja. Slow we come past, speeding up the heartbeat, banging in the chest. When you put it on me, you relieve my stress. You got me so high, taking deep breaths. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. You got me so turned up. You still gotta be so high. Weed always on my mind. No, he always on my mind. Doja. Know you want some of this purr. You ain't gotta say a word. Just walk that, let's get burned. Then we'll roll up 100 bucket nuts. All up in my mouth. Now I'm all up in yo. This nigga got pounds of it. All up in his truck. Now we both look Asian. He waving and I'm drunk. I got dank shit in my cup. You know what I'ma do to you? I could give reviews to you. Flow, we X, and we sipping on that juice. That's just what she choose to do. Slow we come past, speeding up the heartbeat, banging in the chest. When you put it on me, you relieve my stress. You got me so high, taking deep breaths. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. I know you ain't a drug, but you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high. You get me so high, you get me so high.
POV.
I can't tell where your hair ends and mine begins. If I had a body tattoos, I would think that it's your skin. If I move too quick past you, I would think it's my affection. In this cold season, close enough. Who could tell every time we touch, every time we up? Wish you could feel me, you could part me. One bedroom, right where your heart is. Each space feels broken hearted. Cross the battlefield, way too far in. I know when they see just someone, do they see us too? Ooh, I just wanna melt into you. I'm melting to you. Just wanna melt into you. Melt into you. Melt into you. Imagine you're ready for love and taste up and down. Hoping your last secret spit it out your mouth and inhale, exhale, breathe in. With every breath I'm sinking in. No way to describe it, I'm a riot. If I wake up and I'm still not beside you, instead of beside you, this shit is surprise you. You don't even notice, don't need to remind you. Wish you could build me a cute apartment. One bedroom, right where your heart is. Each place feels broken hearted. Cross the bed feels way too far in. I wonder when they see just one, do they see us through? You
Fiasco.
Hey, Century. There are times when I look above and beyond. There are times when I feel your love around me, baby. I'll never forget my baby. When I feel that I don't belong, draw my strength from the words when you said, hey, it's about you, baby. Look deeper inside you, baby. Dream about us together again. What I want us together again, baby. I know we'll be together again, 'cause everywhere I go, every smile I see, I know you are there, smiling back at me, dancing in moonlight. I know you are free, 'cause I can see your star shining down on me. Time for share again. Makes me wanna dance. Say it loud and proud. All my love's for you. Always been a true angel to me. Now above, I can wait for you to wrap your wings around me, baby. Wrap them around me, baby. Sometimes hear whispering on my pain. No worries, will you ever see my baby? I'm so happy for my baby. Dream about us together again. What I want us together again, baby. I know we'll be together again, 'cause everywhere I go, every smile I see, I know you are there, smiling back at me, dancing in moonlight. I know you are free, 'cause I can see your star shining down on me. I'm better. Can't even pretend like I don't want it again. On the brain all the time. Thinking about the things that we did. You did something. Shit like this don't happen too often. It's the way you put it down. I don't want no one else around. Got me taking a step on the outside. Cutting out ties with them other guys. Where you look in my eyes. Loving me nice and slow. You made me wanna go. Caught it up just to put it down on you. You made me wanna replay all of those things that you let me with. You made me wanna go. Caught it up just to put it down on you. You made me wanna replay all of those things that you let me with. You let me with my baby, wanna go. I get by my knees so young. I'ma see me staying on it. This ain't what I really used to.
Anything happens between us, be sure you turn those down before I pull out the car. The only thing that's coming beside me at the situation is you waiting to get some more. I told you I'ma take your place. I seen it in your face, and I knew that you would say it. So
Just to put it down on you. You made me wanna replay all of
5 in the morning. I wake up to fight for my yearnings. Fear in my mind is a warning. Pray to the one you're relying. I've been wandering all day. I tried to be fine, but I can't be. The noise in my mind wouldn't leave me. I tried to get by, but I'm burning. I'm behind, my mind it runs. All these thoughts have troubled me. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need. Right, yeah, I really need time now. I need to free mind now. I really need mind now. I need to free my mind now. I really need time now. I need to free mind now. I really need mind now. Yeah. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Send me a love that you cannot mix. One is the joy that you cannot waste, and the other one price that you cannot fix. This is the peace that you cannot buy. Finding a way where you cannot see. Man with this system, he cannot pray. I need to find relief. But behind my mind, it runs. All these thoughts have troubled me. Fighting to give up my pain. Fighting to be on my lane. My mind running to the other side. When it's time to leave my life, then it tries to take me out. Tell you what I need. I really need more now. I need to free my now. I really need time now. I need to free my mind now. I really need time now. I need to free my now. I really need time now. Oh, yeah. Just let me free, freer than the open mind, farther than the eyes can handle, freer than the ocean now. Yeah, yeah. So set me free. Now I need to find relief. Set me to the open sky. Now I need to free my mind.
Drop top Porsche, 40 on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me that the bossed up and not changed again. It's my big bronze boogie got all them girls shook. My big fat ass got all them boys cooked. From dollar bills, now we popping rubber bands. Bruno sang to me while I do my money dance like, yeah. Flexing on the gram like, yeah. Hit the little John, okay. Oh yeah, we dripping up investigating.
Ooh, don't we look good together? There's a reason why they watch all night long.
Good morning, y'all. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Double tap that screen for you, girl. Come on in. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Happy Wednesday, y'all. We're going to get started in just a minute. I'm hoping and praying this computer don't give me no problems today. That's a lot to ask, though. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me, please. Thank you. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I did. Hold on, y'all. Y'all come on in. I'm doing something real quick. Oh, thanks for the ones. Y'all come on in. All right, let's see who we got in the building this morning. Hey, Miss Lynn. Thank you, Miss Lynn. Hey, Tanya. Oh, who else we got? Hey, Octavia. Welcome to the Fam Bam. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Hey, Miss Carla. Hey, Natasha, girl. I just laugh when I see Natasha now. Y'all don't know why. Don't ask me why. Hey, Sonya. I don't speak to idiots. But y'all can type as long as you ain't disrespectful and things of that sort. All right, let's get into it because we got some stuff to talk about today that's really going to make these trolls mad. Yeah, baby. I just be loving it, honey. Ta-da-ta-ta-ta. I'm loving it. Yup. Ooh, child. Let me pull my chat up on my device. Oh, Carmelo. All right, so today we are going to take a little deep, not deep too deep. Hey, keep it cute. Hey, boo. We're gonna take a little deeper look at this dream team that we got that we working with, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna listen to what some people, have to say about. Thank you for that announcement, Natasha. It's on and popping. We're gonna talk about we're gonna take a deeper dive into this dream team that got these motherfuckers around here just mad. Oh my god. You already got the racist bitch Sarah Fields over there doxing on Facebook. I got Facebook too though. We're gonna go over to Facebook today too, y'all. So yeah, we're gonna take a little field trip. But before we do, we are going to listen to a couple of clips as we always do. Oh, we're gonna talk about the racists that threatened to unalive Carmelo. You know, the one that got locked up. Damn, this thing always telling me I got low space. I know I got low space, damn it. Is Amazing in here? Did I miss her? Hold on. I might miss some people. Hey, Mama T. Y'all just know I might miss some people coming in because, you know, the weirdos who ain't had sex last night come in, you know, they be acting fool. But listen. So, yeah, we're going to talk about the racist bastard that threatened to unalive Carmelo, got locked up. Bond was high. Bond got reduced, and now he's out. And he's been banned, I think, from either Collin County or the state of Texas. I don't know which one. Anyway, we're going to talk about that, too. I wasn't going to talk about it, but, and you know, I usually don't like to highlight the negative when I, talk about certain shit. But, yeah, some things need to be brought to light. So we can understand how people, or try to understand how some people think. You know what I'm saying? How some people think and how fucked up their mentality is. So we're going to get into a little bit of everything today. We're going to take a I said, trip over there to the Facebook. Y'all make sure y'all double tap the screen for those that, ain't nutcases like some of these people in this chat. Straight up wackadoodles. Mamas ain't love them. Daddies used to whoop their ass. Grandmamas disown their ass. You know them type people. Mad because didn't nobody like them in high school. You know them type people. You know what I'm saying? Right, Sasha. Michael Thomas an idiot. Straight up fucking idiot. Oh my God. Yes. Hey girl. Hey, Mr. Wine. Thank you. Drive safe, sweetheart. Drive safe. So listen. Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen. Feel free to support the channel. Cash App, PayPal, all linked. I think will be on the vertical. Linked at the bottom. All right. Support your girl. So let's get into it. Let's get into this first clip. We got Fox News over there mad. Got a whole lot of people mad. But let's listen. We're gonna jump right on into it.
He was convicted of murdering Austin Metcalf. He has a new legal team.
And that appeal to
2 weeks after Carmelo Anthony was convicted of murdering Austin Metcalf, he has a new legal team.
And that appeal defense team is led by former Dallas County Assistant DA Russell Wilson, who Fox 4 has used as a legal analyst for quite a few cases. Fox 4 Stephen Dial here now to talk about the next steps in the case. Stephen?
Heather, Russell Wilson leading that appeals team. He'll be joined by 5 other lawyers, including civil rights attorney Dustin Moore. I spoke to a well-known appeals attorney who's not a part of this case. He told me the legal team has 30 days from the conviction to file for a new trial, but told me that may not happen. 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony was found guilty of murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet 2 years ago. The conviction came down 2 weeks ago. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison and immediately filed a notice of appeal, telling the court he had no money to pay for attorney's fees. Monday, a new legal team announced that it would work on his appeal process pro bono. Civil rights attorney Lee Merritt posted on social media that he helped put the team together. Russell Wilson, who is a familiar face on Fox 4, is leading the team. Joining him are 5 other lawyers, including longtime NAACP President Gary Bledsoe. There has been a lot of racial tension around this case. During the trial, there were no black men or women on the jury. Today, I talked to an appeals attorney, Gary Budishin, who is not associated with the case, about the process moving forward.
If the new defense lawyers decide to file a motion for new trial, that will happen in the next couple of weeks. Now, that's difficult to do because they don't have the record. There are things that are difficult to raise on a motion for trial because you don't have the record. The defense lawyers representing the defendant on appeal have 30 days from the point of receiving the transcript to actually file the appellate brief, which is the written arguments to the Court of Appeals. On a case like this, and in fact, really on most cases, it's necessary to get at least one 30-day extension.
I know there may have been people of color, but no black jurors. Is that something that an appeals legal team would focus in on or mention? Is that something that would stand out in saying, okay, my client did not get a fair shake of his peers?
Absolutely. As I understand what happened at trial, when the prosecutors struck the remaining black jury panel members, the defense lawyer made an objection to it. So they preserved the issue for appeal purposes. So I feel quite certain that's going to be an issue on appeal.
Udishin told me that the record of transcript may not come until August or later. When that happens, the defense will file their brief, then the state will have 30 to 60 days to respond before it goes to the appeals court, which is based here in Dallas.
All right. Y'all understood that?
So they felt that they wouldn't be good jurors in this case because they might be.
Oh, let's see what this is. We got Law and Crime Network. Law and Crime Network wanted to speak on Carmelo's defense team. Let's listen. You know, everybody, a lot of people got a lot to say. Some people mad, you know.
Carmelo Anthony is not going quietly into his 35-year prison sentence for murder.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
Now, a powerhouse defense team is fighting to undo the verdict that branded Carmelo Anthony a killer. What started as a track meet confrontation ended with a fatal stab wound and a murder conviction.
I know how it goes. I'm not alleged.
The case appears closed, but Anthony's new defense team is preparing a challenge that could put the entire verdict back under the microscope. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Right now, Carmelo Anthony is currently living in a rural Texas medium security prison. It's about 3.5 hours south of Frisco, Texas. That is where Anthony used to live. It is where Anthony stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest at a track meet, and it was a wound that killed Austin Metcalf. And of course, this all happened, and we've talked about this story a lot, after Carmelo Anthony ended up.
I got a question. I get so tired of people. Like I said yesterday, I really get sick of people, highlighting the fact or keep saying he wasn't jumped or punched. I don't know where that lie started. I never felt like he was jumped or punched. I felt like he was accosted by several people. But I think Austin, I've always known or said that Austin is the one that actually put hands on him. But, for the slow coats, to be honest, everybody doesn't have to be jumped in order to feel like they need to defend themselves. Who the fuck gonna sit around and wait to be jumped by several people? I don't know where the lie came from that he was allegedly jumped or punched. We all know for all these months, these couple of years, it was a push. I don't know where the punch came from. And as far as him being jumped, you don't have to be jumped in order to feel like you need to defend yourself. You can tell some of you motherfuckers don't go outside or they ain't got no social life or some shit. I don't know what the hell be wrong with some of y'all. Y'all say some of the dumbest shit. It should be funny, but it's really not. It's sad. The ignorance they be typing in chats and stuff. But I'm not going to give y'all no motherfucking, what you kind of day. Y'all can have it. Unless my moms decide you're getting on their nerves and they block your ass.
Under the tent of Metcalf's team at this track meet, and he wouldn't leave. The state said that Metcalf then confronted Carmelo Anthony, that he shoved Carmelo Anthony, and Anthony responded with a knife that was in his backpack, striking Austin Metcalf and giving him an injury that the medical examiner says there is no way that Austin Metcalf would have survived. And the jury, it only took them 3 hours to determine Carmelo Anthony's fate, and it was that he was guilty of murder. But now, Carmelo Anthony has a high...
DJ? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Me, if someone punched me, I'm shooting the shit out of them. Yup. Absolutely. You punch me, yeah, I'm going to shoot the shit at you. Uh-huh. Yep. So is.
Profile. Team of lawyers who are preparing to challenge that verdict. We received an email from the Stand with Carmelo Coalition, and this email announced 6 lawyers will conduct a fresh, independent review of the trial record. It goes on to say, quote, "We recognize the profound loss suffered by one young man's family and the uncertainty facing another, and we extend our respect to everyone whose lives have been forever changed by these events." So this team of lawyers, they will be serving pro bono, according to the email. Now, we're going to go through what makes this team so high profile and potentially high powered in just a moment. But first, I do want to go through some of these new images that we have in this case.
I know how it goes. I'm not alleged.
This is body cam video from one of the first officers to confront Carmelo Anthony after he stabbed Austin Metcalf at this track meet. This body cam captures the moment when Anthony made this now infamous statement, quote, "I'm not alleged, I did it." And you heard it clear as day on that body cam. Now, the court has released a large amount of evidence that was shown to jurors during the trial, including body cam footage and surveillance video. Now, because cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom, the public is now only getting to see what the jury saw. Now, here is the only known video of the moment where Anthony stabs Austin Metcalf under the tent. And it's from a camera that was mounted on top of the football stadium where this track meet was going on in April of 2025. Now, the state argued that Carmelo had no reason to be under Austin's team's
wait
tent.
a minute. Looking at my device, I can see that fight a little clearer. How about y'all? I'm looking at my device, and it looks like I can see a little clearer up under there. Let me play that back.
See what the jury saw. Now, here is the only known video of the moment where Anthony stabs Austin Metcalf under the tent. And it's from a camera that was mounted on top of the football stadium where this track meet was going on in April of 2025. Now, the state argued that Carmelo had no reason to be under Austin's team's tent. Now, the defense argued that
Carmelo might have stood up, and I can actually see him do it. Like this is a little clearer, y'all. I'm gonna play it one more time.
video. Now, because cameras were not allowed inside the courtroom, the public is now only getting to see what the jury saw. Now, here is the only known video of the moment where Anthony stabs Austin Metcalf under the tent. And it's from a camera that was mounted on top of the football stadium where this track meet was going on in April of 2025. Now, the state argued that Carmelo had no reason to be under Austin's team's tent. Now, the defense argued that Carmelo knew someone there and he was welcomed under the tent. But what happens next is Austin Metcalf reportedly tells Carmelo Anthony to leave, and when Anthony didn't, words were exchanged, and Metcalf puts his hands on Carmelo and shoves him. And you can see, it's very blurry, but you can see that shove in the surveillance video. Now, that shove was met with a stabbing from Carmelo Anthony. He pulled a knife out from his backpack and stabbed Anthony in the chest. And again, it was a wound so severe, a stab wound to the heart, that the medical examiner said there is no way Austin Metcalf could have survived. In fact, the medical examiner said if there was an operating table right there with a surgeon, it is not likely that Austin Metcalf would have survived that injury. He died on the track. Carmelo, he ditched the knife and he ran. His defense argued it was because he was afraid for himself. He was just trying to get away from the situation. Now, here is more body cam video of what happened next when officers confronted him on the track.
So nothing on your person at all? Nothing? No, sir. Mind if I reach in your pockets and stuff and all that? Nothing stabbing? Not bad. A little personal there, okay? Just to make sure. Okay.
That's
all right. The victim's going to be underneath that tent over there, so I'll get medics. Memorial tent over there, guys. All right.
He put his hands on me. I told him not to. He put his hands on me.
What's happening right now? Victim, we're on the north end. They got staff standing to him right now. This is like suspect. Already? No. Research them. I don't know what happened. Sorry, whatever. Up to you. It's up to you.
This is closer.
Let me do one more little check of you, okay? You don't mind for reaching your pockets, anything like that? You good?
Some little under. No, man, I don't think so.
What's your name, man?
Carmelo Anthony, K-A-R-M-E.
Have a seat here real quick, man. Watch your head. Let me check your hood here, buddy, okay? I'll tell you what, lean this way so you're not resting on your hands, okay? All right, so get a little bit of blood on your hands there, okay? All right. So your first name is Carmelo? Let's see, hold on a second. I don't know yet, man. Carmelo, C-A-R-A-K-A-R-M-E-L-O, Carmelo. What's your last name? A-N-T-H.
DJ, please shut the hell up. I mean, because every time you type the ignorance, I mean, you said in Texas you can only shoot someone who, I'm not in Texas, first of all. I don't give a fuck about Texas. All right, someone who punches you if you reasonably believe deadly force. If you punch, you do know if somebody can punch somebody and it can be deadly force. You do know that, right? You do know a punch or multiple punches could be deadly. Just hush. Just be quiet. Do something. Go back to school or something. I haven't seen any of this. The story that I've heard goes very differently. Of course, because there's so many lies out there, B. Sawyer. A lot of lies. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, we're ready. I'm 10th grade. You go to Emerson?
Exactly.
Centennial. Okay.
Exactly, Mama T. But see, you know, the mainstream media, or even the YouTubers that's covering this, nobody's talking about the fact that baby had epilepsy. Nobody's talking about that. And everybody who knows, anybody that suffers from seizures know stress, anxiety, being afraid, scared, overly excited can cause you to have a seizure. But like I say, no one's talking about that. No one's talking about that. They're talking about bullshit, stupid shit, whether or not it was a knife. why he was under the tent in the first place and all that bull crap. They don't talk about the important shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
I'm in 12th grade.
12th grade? Okay, listen to me. All right, sit tight for me real quick, bud, all right?
Guys, real quick, running a business is tough enough, but why make it harder doing things manually or relying on dozens of apps that don't talk to each other? That is where our sponsor, Odoo, comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management platform and even inventory. That's AI for today for testimony. It took the jurors about 3 hours to find him guilty of murder. Then it was another 3 hours that same day, roughly, for them to determine that his punishment would be 35 years in state prison. It could have been as many as 99 years. Now, the day after his sentence, Carmelo Anthony filed a notice of appeal from prison, and he wrote in that notice of appeal that he doesn't have the money for an attorney. But that doesn't appear to be an issue any longer because he has this pro bono team of lawyers now in his corner. So let's go through this team of lawyers. According to the Stand With Carmelo Coalition, the team is led by Dallas Appellate Attorney Russell Wilson II, who once led the Dallas County District Attorney's conviction.
This is where they go into more detail about the attorneys, y'all. Let's listen.
So let's go through this team of lawyers. According to the Stand With Carmelo Coalition, the team is led by Dallas Appellate Attorney Russell Wilson II, who once led the Dallas County District Attorney's Conviction Integrity Unit. And according to the DA's website, one of that unit's jobs is to send out, quote, mass notifications where systemic errors affected or potentially affected the judicial process. You also have Austin-based attorney Gary Bledsoe, who is the president of the Texas NAACP, and he's been in that position since 2001. And he is, quote, admitted to practice before the U.S. Supreme Court and the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals. Next, you have Michael Ware, who's a Fort Worth-based attorney and former prosecutor, and he's the executive director of the Innocence Project in Texas. He was inducted into the Texas Criminal Defense Lawyers Hall of Fame last year. With them, civil rights attorney Brooke Clues, who is a former Houston public defender, and she is now chief of staff for high-profile civil rights attorney Ben Crump. And another high-profile lawyer on the team is Sean Daradia, who is based in Dallas, and he's had multiple clients acquitted in high-profile murder cases, and he serves as a TV legal analyst. And finally, you have trial lawyer Justin Moore. He's also based in Dallas, and his description reads, quote, he has represented clients in high-profile criminal and civil rights matters, including securing the acquittal of a teenager charged and falsely accused of capital murder. So it does seem to be a very high-profile team. The question, of course, becomes, what might they actually be able to do to overturn the conviction of Carmelo Anthony, and what happens next? Joining us now to talk more about this from Texas, criminal defense attorney Anthony Osso. Always great to have you on Law and Crime. So if you're a prosecutor on this case, you look at this lineup, how nervous are you that this conviction may actually not stick?
Well, as a prosecutor, hopefully you're not nervous, right? I mean, I think from a prosecutor standpoint, you should be bringing cases to trial that you feel the state has evidence to prove, right? And you've got to trust that your lying lawyers, the trial lawyers in that case, did what they were supposed to do, right? Which, in addition to trying to get the verdict they want and the sentence they want, is also making sure the record is clean so that the conviction sticks for decades to come.
And what happens now? I know that Carmelo Anthony filed a notice of appeal, and then we got the update here of who his attorneys are going to be on the appeals process. What do they do next?
Right. So it's just a timeline. You have to file the notice of appeal within a time period. And then from that point, they'll get a scheduling order of when the actual appeal is filed. And that at that point, the court will review it. They'll probably need to get a transcript, a trial record, and the court will have to go through that. And they'll make their decisions regarding the appeals after reviewing the record in both parties' arguments, both the state and the defense's arguments regarding the appeal.
Because post-verdict, we've seen so much debate from people who were just following this case to columnists of all different kinds, legal analysts, about the facts of the case and everything that went down in the trial. And then, now the body cam and surveillance video was released in the last couple of days. So people are looking at that too. But in an appeals process, like, what will Carmelo Anthony's team actually be looking at to determine whether or not
looking at the record itself, Chris, this isn't going to be a situation like much of the public is doing, where they're looking at, well, why didn't the defense argue this or why didn't they argue that? What they're going to look at is really errors within the record, both constitutional errors and structural errors. So did the judge allow hearsay in against the defense's objection? Was there a jury charge and structure that was let in that shouldn't have been let in? I think we'll probably see an objection to the judge's ruling on the Batson challenge. The defense did object. They did make a Batson objection, and the judge overruled that objection. So I'm sure we'll see that as being one of the issues that the court rules on, in addition to a number of other issues, probably a sufficiency of the evidence argument, and then various other pieces of evidence that probably came in that the defense will re-urge their objection on the appeal.
Because there have been people who have looked at the jury selection process. We've heard the term Batson challenge over the last couple of days since this verdict came in. For people who are just kind of following along, may not be lawyers, what exactly is a Batson challenge, and what Carmelo Anthony's team would have to prove for that to be successful?
Sure. So in jury selection, you cannot make you can't strike somebody on the basis of gender or race. You have to have a gender or race neutral reason for striking that person. So in an instance of a trial, if the prosecution strikes a few, we'll use in this case, for example, they strike a few black jurors, then the defense might think, hey, well, the prosecution struck black jurors because they're black. And so they can make a Batson challenge. The burden then shifts to the state to provide the court with race neutral reasons for having struck black jurors. And so in this case, I think the state argued that they struck these jurors because they were educators of young children or kids. And so they felt that they wouldn't be good jurors in this case because they might be more sympathetic to Mr. Anthony. And the court found that that was a sufficient race neutral reason and overruled the defense's objection.
When it comes to some of the work that this team of 6 attorneys and again, very accomplished lawyers, it seems, when it comes to the work that they're going to do, because in the notice of appeal, Carmelo Anthony, says that he doesn't have any money, which makes sense. He's 18, 19 years old, and he is now an inmate in Texas State Prison, doesn't have a job, career on the outside of it. He had just graduated high school. Like, how does, assuming that this team, for all the prestige...
That's a good point. What he just said about Carmelo being 18, legally an adult, he's in prison, doesn't have a job. So he would say he don't have any money because he don't. People still want to focus on the monies that people are donating to his parents, all right? So the truth of the matter is this. Whatever monies that people are donating to the parents can use for whatever, whether they use it to being as though he's being represented pro bono, which is a blessing with that type of team. But legally, Carmelo is considered an adult. And when he filed for indigency, which is what that means when you say you don't have enough money for a lawyer, the courts don't have to the courts don't have to count his parents' money. They're not going to count his parents' money because his parents' money is now their money. Whatever they raise, whatever they do with the donated money, I'm sure they're going to take care of him. I mean, but, it's just how many people are getting so upset about, people donating to them and this and that and the third, when I know for a fact all these other, alleged killers out here who have raised millions and millions of dollars after unaliving people, a group of people, group of students, all that. You don't get that outrage. You don't get the outrage against Austin's parents, God rest his soul, who are still collecting money off his death separately. You don't nobody talk about that. But that's okay. Because, it is what it is.
They're doing this pro bono, and if it's like the full force of all their law firms looking into this, like, what does that get you in an appeal process as you go through the record compared to someone maybe more of someone who doesn't have the national recognition on their case and they're just kind of going through the appeals process, as I'm sure a lot of people who have been convicted of crimes end up doing?
Well, with a team like this, you should expect they're going to lift up every rug, and they're going to look under every rock and make sure that no stone's unturned. And a lot of what they're doing, because it's a serious hurdle in an appeal, right? Because with these constitutional errors, sure, something might be wrong, but not only does the defense have to prove that something went wrong, a piece of evidence was let in, a juror was allowed to testify regarding certain conduct, an instruction got into the jury charge. They also have to prove that there was harm, that error caused harm, and but for that error, we would have or could have had a different verdict. And so it's a really high burden for a defendant on an appeal, but they're also preserving the appellate record for potential appeals down the line, post-conviction appeals like post-conviction writs of habeas corpus and things of that nature.
Who eventually, because obviously it was a jury of his peers, and I know people have debated the racial makeup. It was majority white, wasn't an all-white jury, but a majority white jury that made this decision. The judge stands by the decision. Who, as they prepare the appeal process, like who eventually, or the group of people, are the ones who would determine whether or not this conviction sticks?
Well, it'll be the appellate court justices. And so they'll look back. First, the appellate lawyers for Mr. Anthony are going to have to make the arguments. They're going to have to raise these issues. The issues that they raise are going to have to be issues that were previously raised in trial for the most part, right? And that's why it's so important, like I talked about earlier with the prosecutors and keeping a clean record, it is crucial that the defense attorneys in this case make the objections when necessary, because they know they've got to preserve this record for appeal so that they can give the appellate lawyers the ammunition they need to make the objection.
Be Sawyer. So they got the money but still use their public defender. Why would they not have? They listen. Oh Lord. Peace be still. They've never used a public defender. In the first trial, they paid that lawyer that pretty much threw the case. He didn't do his job, but he was paid. This second set of lawyers are pro bono. That's different from being a public defender. They're pro bono. That means they're doing it for free. The first lawyer was paid. The second set of lawyers offered to do a pro bono. He's never had, even though he applied for a public defender, he didn't need the public defender now because he has the dream team.
To the appellate court, but ultimately it will be the justices. They'll be looking at the rulings from the verdict by the jury as well as the rulings by the court and determine whether this conviction sticks. That is a really the judge views the trial court's rulings and the jury's verdict in a very deferential manner. So it's really light most favorable to the evidence.
You know, the thing about it is it's not your fault. I mean, there's so many lies being told. And if you don't know, if you don't research like I have, I mean, to at this point, I'm kind of exhausted on this case, but I refuse to quit. But I mean, it's so many lies being told. You don't know what to believe unless you know, like pretty much do your research and not just listen to what any and everybody have to say. Because a lot of people, just like a lot of people in this chat are placing lies in this chat, the lies are everywhere. The lies are everywhere. Shout out to my moderators. Do your damn thing. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Presented in trial.
Because there's been a lot of criticism for just people who've been following along with this trial of the defense of Carmelo Anthony. You know, you're a criminal defense attorney. I'm not. As you know, it is a really hard job, and like kind of Monday morning quarterbacking in a situation as serious as this, it isn't fair a lot of times. But there is the decision that was made, and whatever went into that decision, it's kind of unclear of why Carmelo Anthony did not testify in his own defense, since he was, really the closest witness to what happened. And if you're alleging that you were afraid for your life and you needed to do this to protect yourself and all of that, I think jurors would have really liked to see that. First off, let's just talk about that decision in and of itself. Like, what did you make of the decision for Carmelo Anthony not to be on the stand?
Well, I agree with you, Chris. I think any juror is going to want to see that. And I'm sure the defense probably went over that issue during jury selection and weeded out or tried to weed out the jurors that would hold that against the defendant if he didn't testify, but people slip through the cracks. And so I think in this day and age, if you're arguing self-defense, people want to hear, well, what made you so scared that you felt the need to use a knife in a fist fight, which it wasn't even really a fist fight according to the testimony we heard. So I think it's that judgment call is something the general public may never have the true insight on, because we weren't with the defense team. You got to assume that they were preparing Mr. Anthony to testify for trial. And if they didn't feel like he would be a good witness, or they felt that he would do himself more harm than he would benefit, then you've got to make a judgment call as a defense attorney. And in certain instances, defendants just don't want to testify. So there's a lot that goes into that decision. But again, I agree with you. I think in this kind of case where the facts aren't necessarily on your side, you have prosecution witnesses talking about provocation, you as a defendant really need to get up on the stand and tell your side of the story.
And I don't know if this is what happened. I don't know if when they went into the back room and they're deciding it, maybe it was Carmelo Anthony who said, I just don't want to do this. I don't think I need to. We're unclear. But when it comes to the appeals process, if the defense team looked at Carmelo and said, you should not testify in your own defense, and maybe that was the wrong decision, like, is that something that could be made into the appeals process, that he just got bad advice in that situation? It was a bad strategic decision and things could have been a lot different had he taken the stand?
So no, Chris, it wouldn't. That would be an ineffective assistance of counsel claim that would likely be brought up during the habeas corpus part of an appeal. But assuming that we were there, that's probably not going to be a winner argument, because the attorney is going to provide an affidavit and state that here was our strategy based on the evidence that we had, the evidence that was in a trial, and our woodshedding in preparation of the defendant. We did not feel that it was the best strategic decision for him to testify. That's different than if the defendant wanted to and they forced him not to, right? Because in the end of the day, the defendant has the absolute right to go to trial. They've got the absolute right to testify in their defense. And so if they didn't provide him that opportunity, then that would be a cognizable claim for an ineffective assistance of counsel argument.
Because I'm sure every, you go into a prison and you talk to people about how their trials went. A lot of people probably weren't thrilled with their defense with just the outcome of how it went. Like, what is the bar when it comes to ineffective assistance of counsel? Like, what does that actually look like in effective appeals claims?
It's an unfortunately really low bar. I think that there's a case where a defense attorney was asleep during trial and was not found to be ineffective, not found to have provided ineffective assistance of counsel. So, but on the less extreme side of things, as a defense attorney, you've got to make judgment calls based on your experience and based on what's been put into evidence before a jury. And so the courts really do provide a lot of deference to the decisions made by the lawyers. And so it's a really high bar. It's hard to overcome that, which is why it's really important for any appellate lawyer to make sure that there's a distinction in their argument of was he advised not to testify and chose not to, or was he truly not provided the opportunity to testify? And I don't think we have the latter in this instance. I'm pretty sure probably that he was advised not to testify by his lawyers and took their advice.
When it comes to, so 35 years in prison is the full sentence. He'll have to serve 17 and a half.
Yes.
How long does the appeals process, like for this case, like how long are we looking until you kind of see the arguments made and whether there could be a decision on whether or not, maybe they find something we don't know, but I guess how long does this appeals process typically take?
The appeals process on a 35-year sentence can take a really long time. Now, there's stages of the appeal process. There's the direct appeal, and then there's the post-conviction appeal. And so the direct appeal is a lot quicker than the post-conviction appeal. When the appellate court affirms the trial court's decision, then the case that's deemed a conviction, and then the defendant under Texas law would be entitled to file a post-conviction writ of habeas corpus under 1107. That process takes a lot longer because in that process, it actually allows the parties to investigate and create a record. They can get affidavits from new witnesses. They can get affidavits from witnesses that may have provided the defense evidence that the defense chose not to use in trial. They can get affidavits from the defense attorneys themselves where they're explaining the strategy behind their decisions in trial. And so you build a lot larger record. That investigation takes time. And you can file, in certain instances, you can file more than one writ of habeas corpus. So that can take decades.
So even, I mean, I know, like, let's just say he was out in 17 and a half years. I mean, how likely is it that he's out before his appeal process could even go the full length?
On a case like this, it's probably, I mean, 17 and a half years is a long time for any case, right? Because that 17 and a half years, he will do day for day. So it's likely that he will exhaust his appeals before that date comes. Once that date comes, once you're paroled out, then the issue sort of becomes moot. And you don't have, the court no longer has jurisdiction to hear the appeal. So it's a possibility that if the appellate court affirms the decision or the ruling, the jury verdict, and it goes into habeas proceedings, that could take a very long time. So it sort of just depends on a case by case basis.
And what did you make of it? So I think it was between 5 and 99 years he could have received as a sentence. He gets 35. Just knowing criminal defense in Texas, and this was a case where he's in this confrontation. He doesn't have any sort of a previous criminal record. What did you make of the 35 years for Carmelo Anthony?
I think it's a really stiff sentence for a kid that committed a crime at 17. The caveat to that is a 17-year-old lost his life over what the jury's determined to be a really senseless act. And so but that's three and a half decades, Chris. I mean, the kid, it's more than twice the kid's lifetime. And so I think it's a really high verdict. And I'd like to understand more what the defense's sentencing preparation looked like in a case like this.
Because, and that was one thing that stood out to me was, it was 3 hours or so to the guilty verdict. And then I was thinking, as we were kind of waiting for information to come out, it's like, okay, so maybe tomorrow they do the punishment, the punishment part of it, let everybody get a breath, but they go right into the punishment phase for Carmelo Anthony. I mean, it felt like within, the hour, his mom is on the stand pleading for mercy from the jury. And then 3 hours or so after that, they come back with the 35-year number. Is that typical in Texas to kind of go that quickly from verdict to sentence within the day?
It's a possibility. Yeah, it can happen in any district court. And that's really just a judge by judge situation. If I was in a defensive situation, or if I was a judge, I would be inclined to probably break for the day and have the parties come back for sentencing the next day to give the defense time to regroup. That being said, you're using jurors' time. People have just spent a number of days listening to pretty gruesome evidence, and they're away from their families, they're away from their work, and judges have the responsibility of getting cases to verdict expediently while preserving the rights of the defendant as well as the state's rights in these cases. So you do see courts jump right in from guilt, innocence, and punishment, and as a defense attorney, you have to be ready for the bad news and the one-word verdict, and turn right around, put your game face on, and argue why the jury shouldn't sentence your client to a term of a large number like 35 years.
Yeah, I mean, again, mid-50s. You think the kid, he's 17, he just graduated high school, mid-50s on the way out. But then, for the Metcalf family, Austin's never coming home. Very, very sad case in Texas.
You wonder, and I've seen this in jury verdicts, right, where a jury will send a meeting behind their verdict, right? And so they can't really consider parole, but they were probably made aware that parole, that the defendant would have to do half the time before he was eligible. And so you wonder if they took that into consideration and saying, we'll make him do 35, he'll do his lifetime, he'll do the victim's lifetime. Just something that kind of crossed my mind as we're talking about numbers.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that yet. And we'll see what happens. This appeal process, certainly high-powered team, but
it's amazing.
What impact will it make in the long run? We'll see.
I don't know what minute y'all gonna remember, because we don't listen to a lot of crap, these last couple of weeks. But what that guy just said, does anybody remember this another guy saying that after the sentence was passed down when we was listening to WFAA? I'm gonna play that statement he just made again, right? And for anybody that remember when we reacted to the 35 years and we was watching WFAA, the news station that had the three people on the thing, and one of the guys made this same statement that this guy just made. Listen.
They can't really consider parole, but they were probably made a large number, like 35. Why the bad news and the one-word verdict, and turn right around, put your game face on, and argue why the jury shouldn't sentence your client to a term of a large number like 35 years.
Yeah, I mean, again, mid-50s. You think the kid, he's 17, he just graduated high school, mid-50s on the way out. But then, for the Metcalf family, Austin's never coming home. Very, very sad case in Texas.
You wonder, and I've seen this in jury verdicts, right, where a jury will send a meeting behind their verdict, right? And so they can't really consider parole, but they were probably made aware that parole, that the defendant would have to do half the time before he was eligible. And so you wonder if they took that into consideration and saying, we'll make him do 35, he'll do his lifetime, he'll do the victim's lifetime.
It's weird. Another guy said the same thing when they was talking about how many years he got. And that dude on that panel said the same exact thing. Maybe they gave him 35 years so he can at least do however many years that Austin was. That's crazy. Okay.
Thing that kind of crossed my mind as we're talking about numbers.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I hadn't thought about that yet. And we'll see what happens. This appeal process, certainly high-powered team, but what impact will it make in the long run? We'll see. Anthony Asso, criminal defense attorney out of Houston, Texas. Thank you for taking the time to be with us here on Law and Crime. It's great to be with you.
Chris, always a pleasure. Thanks.
That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law and Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify. And
let's go to the next one. Let's see what's next. I think it's okay. So this is a content creator named Trent Out Loud. I'm going to share him out on my community wall, y'all. And the reason I just want to listen, I want y'all to hear what I heard from him and give me y'all take on what he's saying. Trent Out Loud is the name of the channel. Y'all go check him out. I'm gonna share him out on my community wall. Y'all can go there and at least hit the like button on this video. And if you like his content, subscribe to his channel.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Avengers has assembled. Or in basketball terms, the dream team has come together. And I ran first to look if there was a woman on the team. And not only is there a woman, but a black woman. And if black women could put Joe Biden in the White House, a black woman could get Carmelo Anthony out of jail. I'm going to give you the details of this assembled dream team. I'm also going to go over what they can appeal on, and then I'll explain to you why I think Carmelo Anthony will be walking out of jail a free man. Oh, and we also have an update on Jeff Metcalf, Austin Metcalf's racist daddy, and I've already proved to y'all that he's racist. He is now talking on Fox News yet again. Sit back, relax. I got a ton of things to tell you, and then I'll hand it off to y'all, the Out Louders, to let me know what you think in the comment section below. A team of leading appellate, civil rights, and criminal defense attorneys announced today that it has taken on the case of Carmelo Anthony, who was recently sentenced to 35 years following his unaliving conviction in the passing of Austin Metcalf. The team, serving pro bono, absolutely 100% free, will review the trial records and pursue all available avenues of appeal. I'm going to break that down for you guys in a second. Leading the efforts are Russell Wilson. Here he is right beside me. Shout out to Russell. Gary Bledsoe. Michael Ware, who is super key. I'm going to tell you about him in a sec. The superstar of the team, Brooke Claus from Benjamin Crump's law office. Sean and Justin. Our appellate team has been retained following the conviction to conduct a fresh, independent review of the trial records. We recognize the profound loss suffered by one man's family and the uncertainty facing another. And we extend our respect to everyone whose lives have been forever changed by these events. Our responsibility is to determine whether a legal error occurred and to ensure that every issue supported by the record is fully and vigorously represented on appeal. The appellate process exists for precisely these purposes.
Talk about Carmelo Anthony's legal team, the team that was put together to handle his appeal. Let's start with the lead counsel, Russell Wilson. When he worked at the DA's office, which was under Craig Watkins' administration, Craig Watkins was the first Black district attorney in Dallas County, breaking every kind of barrier. And the one barrier that was really prominent in his administration was the Conviction Integrity Unit. Dallas County became known nationally for their Conviction Integrity Unit because they were leading in the country for overturning wrongful convictions and exonerating innocent incarcerated individuals. Russell Wilson became the head of that division in 2011. Now let's talk about Mike Ware, because Mike Ware, when he was a prosecutor at the Dallas County District Attorney's Office in 2007, they founded the Conviction Integrity Unit that spearheaded Dallas County DA's office to lead the nation in overturning wrongful convictions or exonerations of innocent incarcerated individuals.
And now let me give you some background on Brooke, and you'll know why I'm so excited about her. Brooke serves as a litigation attorney and the chief of staff for Benjamin Crump. Those of you who've been following me for years, you know that Benjamin Crump helped me a little bit with me and my Nike battle. Benjamin Crump, yo, they don't play. Let me just try to tell you, like, yo, they do not play. A skilled civil rights attorney and former public defender in Houston, Texas, she advocates for the disenfranchised and fights to safeguard her clients' equal protection under the law. Ms. Claus also provides legal commentary on employment discrimination and workplace equity and has won several verdicts on several high-profile civil rights cases. Trust me, Brooke is a beast. Now let's go over this appellate process. For those of you who've been following this channel daily, you know that we've been covering the details of this case, so please feel free to go on the page. I'm not going to, for my daily listeners, I'm not going to reiterate everything, okay? We do know one of the biggest grounds for appeal is the jury selection. We do know that there was 3 Black women educators that were dismissed by the prosecution. That alone right there is grounds for appeal. Well, I'm also going to cover a few other things, but I forgot to say one thing. For those of you who are on the side of Carmelo Anthony and think that he should be freed, I just want to be very clear. This does not mean a new trial. The appellate process, the appeal process is there to go through the entire procedures to make sure that there is no errors. So first, this dream team, the Avenger team that I'm calling them, they're going to go through all trial records and to see if there's any error. If there was an error made through any process, whether it be the jury, an objection, just any sort of thing, any sort of technical issue, that could be grounds for them to win the appeal. Depending on what the error is that they found, it could be error in sentencing, it could be error in jury, it could be error in evidence, it could be error in cross-examination, it could be various amounts of errors. Depending on the error, they could overturn the sentencing, they could overturn the conviction, they could bring down the conviction from unaliving one to manslaughter to an even lesser charge. It could be brought down to a small charge that's probation or a fine. There's so much things that could happen during the appeal process. What I think will probably happen is we'll get a new trial. That is what I think. It would be great if they could just have him completely exonerated, because again, for the people who've been following me, you know that I feel like there's a lot of grounds for self-defense. I'm not going to get into it now, but I have also made videos where I feel like there is some evidence that points to manslaughter, which is still, I feel, brings some comfort to the family and to the people who are on the Austin Metcalf side. And manslaughter is still admitting the fact that yes, he unalived somebody and negating.
Be sorry. Excuse me. There were 3 black women educators that were dismissed, but I don't know about them saying I don't see 3 black educators who were women. I don't see them saying that. I don't see them saying that. Now I don't know if it was said by them. I know it was put out here that they said that, but I don't know for sure that it was said. What we do know is 3 black women who were educators was dismissed. That's what we know for sure.
The self-defense claim. So whether it's self-defense or whether it's manslaughter or anything less, most of the times it will be a new trial, or it could just be brought down. So I hope that doesn't confuse you guys even more. I just want to let you know that there's no one direct line in appeal. A bunch of things could happen. I believe that he has a chance to walk a free man based on the fact that if they reduce the sentence, it will be time served because he's in there now. So his time will be served. And this appeal process is going to take at least a year. Even if they get it speedy, it'll be 6 months, 7 months. If he gets a lesser charge, he could just walk a free man if they bring down the charge. They get a new trial, that will even take even longer. So that's how the appeal process works. I just want to make that clear. Now let's go back to some facts and some speculation that I feel could change the outcome of the trial or bringing down the charges. We already talked about the jury. Let's talk about one thing that's a fact that nobody can dispute. In the testimony on prosecution and defense.
Shout out to Malika for the support. Malika, you should not be blocked. Let me see something right quick, y'all. It's going to knock me out, but I'm going to try to see something right quick. If it knocked me out, Maj, just please let the audience know that I'll be right back. I hope it don't, but let me check something real fast. Malika, I got so many people on this block list. Let me see if y'all can still hear me. Malika, if you're listening, do me a favor. If you're listening, Malika, grab my email from this banner. One of my moms put my email in the chat for me. Malika, grab my email. I hope you know how to go to your channel. Go to your home screen. Make sure I tell you right. Hold on. Go to your home screen and see if you can grab your link to your channel off your home screen and email it to me so I can go directly to your channel. Because if not, I'm going to have to try to do it when I get off. Because being as though we done blocked probably about 1,000 people in the last 2 weeks, it's going to be hard for me to go through that list. I will do it, though, when I get off this live. But to do it quicker, I need you to go to your home screen, try to grab your link to your channel and email it to me, okay? Thank you, Miles. All right, Malika, and thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get it fixed, Malika. You should not be blocked. But I will say this. We've been blocking so many people. It could have been, I'm sure it was done by mistake. I'm sure you wasn't blocked on purpose. It could have been by mistake. I blocked a couple of people by mistake because the chat was moving so fast. And somebody was probably trying to get rid of a troll. And that's how it could have happened. All right, Malika. Hopefully you're listening. Thank you, mods.
Nobody was able to specify exactly who was who in the video. It is so grainy. It is so far away. You cannot see in that video exactly who was who. Yes, there was video experts that were like, you could see Austin coming in here. Yes, that is actually Carmelo walking in here, running down the bleachers. But the exact interaction, the incident happened. Nobody can determine who is who and who is who in that picture. Testimony, yes, for the people underneath the tent can say, oh, Austin was there and this person was there, but we cannot see that in the video. But we can all agree with that, okay? Here is what is some, and by the way, that part of that video can be brought back up in the appeal process. Now, here is a lot of speculation that I feel could also be brought up during appeal. Austin, there has been some, I think 2 people that have said that Austin Metcalf fell onto Carmelo, and when Carmelo had the knife in his hand and he fell onto him. The knife is 3.5 inches long. The wound inside Austin's chest was 2 inches. If you're plummeting into somebody like that, why wouldn't the whole 3.5 go? If somebody...
Oh, wow, that's something new to me. Now, I did hear that. I heard that. I heard that on somebody's channel that he allegedly, and I think one of the witnesses had said it. One of the witnesses had said that Austin kind of fell onto the knife. But I didn't know that was a thing. But let's listen to what he says, y'all.
To Carmelo, and when Carmelo had the knife in his hand and he fell onto him. The knife is 3.5 inches long. The wound inside Austin.
Oops, I tolerated you until you put the N-word. I don't know if you bitches can read or not, but my mods are saying, do not put that word in my chat. So now you got to go.
His chest was 2 inches. If you're plummeting into somebody like that, why wouldn't the whole 3.5 go? If somebody pushes or if he trips or there's a fight or pushing and shoving and he falls onto it and it's not so much that he pushed it into him, that would explain the 2-inch wound and it not being a 3.5. That's something that can be explored.
That's true.
There's also, did Austin give him a light push? Was it an aggressive push? Was it a punch? That's to be determined. Was Carmelo approached, attacked, agitated, aggressed by 4 boys? We know with the video, there were 6 that came into the track meet, 2 went off, and there was 4. Through testimony underneath the tent, whose testimony from all of Austin Metcalf's friends and people from his school, which is obviously going to say everything in Austin's favor.
Absolutely.
Even Eddie, who is Carmelo's friend, doesn't want to say the truth because Eddie was like, I don't even know him. I don't even know who Carmelo is.
Come on.
To find out that, yes, there's pictures and you guys were hanging out. Again, sorry if you guys don't know the details, but I'm sure most of you know by now. So the testimony from the prosecution is one thing, but those are all testimony from Austin Metcalf's friends and the kids in his school. And those kids, even if they don't like Austin, they don't want to go back to school and be ostracized. So they're all going to come together and tell the story. And this is the whole point of the appeal, and the whole point of why some people are so upset is the people who witnessed it are all Austin's schoolmates and all Austin's friends. We have a grainy video. You can't tell who is who. So how do we know? How is a jury able to determine unaliving one with that kind of information and that kind of grainy video? Here's another thing. All of those teenagers that are around that have cell phones, at the minute there's somebody that raises their voice, kids these days bring out their phone and start recording. You're telling me that there was no kid under there that took out their phone and recorded?
Oh my God, Trent. Oh my God. I've been screaming that to the mountaintop. And I still believe that there was absolutely cell phone footage, videos. I believe it. I stand on it. I do.
Around that have cell phones. At the minute there's somebody that raises their voice, kids these days bring out their phone and start recording. You're telling me that there was no kid under there that took out their phone and recorded this incident? And we do know that this incident didn't happen in a split second. There was arguing back and forth. They were yelling, what are you doing under here? Get from under here. There's reports that Carmelo was like, yo, touch me and find out. You can take out your phone. You access your camera. Boom, I'm here. I'm recording right now. It just took me 2 seconds. So you're telling me a bunch of teenagers are around and 2 boys are yelling at each other and nobody brings out their phone to record it?
Come on.
There has been conversation of one boy. I'm not mistaken if this was in testimony, but we do know that this was some sort of fact, if I'm not mistaken, that one boy said, yo, I had my phone out and but I wasn't recording. I was only pretending to record.
That's crazy.
Who takes out their phone and pretends to record?
That's crazy.
So there is the speculation that there is some video evidence out there from cell phone from Austin Metcalf's friend.
We'll repeat it again, Trent. There has to be some cell phone footage because there was testimony at trial that they had a picture of the medics working on Austin. From that video we've been watching, we've been seeing, everybody's been talking about, there's no way that type of photo could have been taken up close like that from that camera. So we know that if they had a photo at trial, close up, impersonal, when the medics were working on Austin, someone recorded or at least took a picture. Okay?
That they erased. This is basically what I'm alluding to. Record. Who takes out their phone and pretends to record? So there is the speculation that there is some video evidence out there from cell phone from Austin Metcalf's friends that they erased. This is basically what I'm alluding to.
Come on.
There's conversation that there is cell phone footage a lot closer to the incident, and that's why some people are saying, "Oh, he fell onto the knife," but we don't have that. Why? Because they know to delete that because they don't want that evidence to be played in court. They just want that grainy video. These are all the things that are going to be looked into. These 21 or 22 people who testified, yo, we want to see that your cell phone. We want to have access to your data. We want to have access to your iCloud. Y'all know nothing really gets deleted these days, even when you do delete it. There's these forensic people up top in a case like this. They can get to your stuff. So those are just a few things. I mean, I could go on and on, but those are a few things. If you ask me, the jury is the easiest one. Why were 3 black women who are educators, who are not better than educators, to be on a jury? You want to take off 2 of them? Okay, why not even leave 1? What are the grounds for that, sir? We will get to that. Okay, that is the appeal. I want to now play a video of Austin Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf. He is going on Fox News, and he's talking about Carmelo. He's talking about Carmelo's parents. And I want you guys to notice something. He is now trying to make Carmelo's parents look horrible, try to look like they were the ones that brought race into this and publicized this. But why I want to play this for you is that you can see the snake that he was from the beginning, because he is trying to say, before the trial even started, he wanted to pray with Carmelo's parents. He wanted to come together and, have a kumbaya moment. And it was in a press conference.
Malika, hopefully you're listening, Malika. Thank you for that. Try to type in the chat. Malika. They were taken off the jury because they said all 3 of them women did not say that. That's crazy. There's no way that all 3 of them women repeated that same statement. That's ludicrous. You people are slow. Malika, if you're listening, sweetheart, try to type in the chat for me.
Where somebody was like, yo, we should kick him out. And he's like, oh, they kicked me out when I was trying to be a nice person. And at that time, we don't know why he got kicked out. We don't know why Carmelo's parents decided to not have that kind of relation. But
he had no right to be there, and they knew he was an ass. I mean, everybody knew it. They shouldn't even have to explain why they kicked him out. They had, hey girl, you back? I'm pretty sure you was blocked by mistake, sweetheart, but welcome back. And thank you for the support. I'm glad you reached out to me and not just assumed somebody tried to block you. I appreciate that. Welcome back, Malika. I forgot what I was saying. Let me listen.
Now we know because I played for you guys.
Oh yeah. Basically what I was saying is they don't have to explain why they kicked him out. He had no right to be there. They didn't intrude on him and his, they hadn't intrude on him and his, his whole tour he got going on. Ain't nobody showing up to where he's at. Oh, you were? I'm pretty sure you were, Malika. Oh, so yeah, they don't even have to explain why they kicked him out. They don't. They kicked him out. They didn't want him there. I would have kicked him out too. And they wasn't ugly about it. Like it wasn't no whole, them going off or nothing. They just had their security ask him to leave. They didn't make a big deal out of it. They just wanted him out.
And it was in a press conference where somebody was like, yo, we should kick him out. And he's like, oh, they kicked me out when I was trying to be a nice person. And at that time, we don't know why he got kicked out. We don't know why Carmelo's parents decided to not have that kind of relation. But now we know, because I played for you guys last week where Jeff Metcalf is calling Carmelo watermelon felon and talking about 400 years ago and about black people and how he came to this country.
Now, let's talk about the whole rant he did, y'all, after the sentencing. Let's talk about the whole rant. Now, mind you, this man said he forgave. This man says he's a Christian. He says he's let go of anger and shit of that nature, right? So think about it. Carmelo gets found guilty, okay? He gets found guilty. He's sentenced to 35 years, okay? Right. I understand Mr. Metcalf still being hurt, even still being angry, no matter how many times he says he's not. I'm sure he is. I live it every day, right? So if you wasn't a racist and you didn't have all these old racist ass thoughts and you wasn't just a bona fide racist, why would you go on a racist rant after y'all won? I'm not gonna say you won because your son is still not here. God bless his soul. I get that, but justice was served according to y'all. So why would you, after all of that, it's not like he was found innocent. Is my Miss Monica in here? I don't see her, but if she is, hey, Miss Monica, I gotta write B Sugar back too, y'all. Golly, I'm thinking out loud now. I gotta write her back. But I mean, it's not like he was found not guilty and he was out walking the streets. You know what I'm saying? He was found guilty. He was sentenced. Hey, Miss Monica. So instead of just, ain't nobody saying you can't go on a tour, do interviews, talk about your son, honor your son and things of that nature. But why go on a racist rant? Why are you still so mad? No, I ain't gonna say why you still so mad, because he could be mad forever. I'm just saying, why do what you did after, justice was served, according to y'all? Because that shit was in you. And the only reason why you didn't go on them racist rants before then is because there was a gag order. They shut you up. I believe you, to be honest, Mr. Metcalf, is the reason why the gag order was put in place, because you was the only one, well, you and your wife, ex-wife, baby mama, whoever the fuck she is to you, was doing all the talking. Because the Anthonys did one press conference, and boom, that was it. Y'all went on an immediate press tour the same day this happened. Just saying.
And this, the evidence of him being a full-blown racist. Okay. We also know that Jeff Metcalf also has a criminal past. He has an SA charge. Listen to him now trying to get in the media and tear down Carmelo Anthony's parents. Remember the video I played for you, his racist rant. Look at it compared to this.
I was hoping we could show the world this wasn't a racial dividing, that we could kind of close the gap instead of widening it. But at that point, they'd obviously retained the services of Dominique Alexander, who decided to throw me out of the press conference, have me removed by police, and then proceeded to gaslight me and tell me that I shouldn't have been there and it was not dignified. That's when they took it from any type of remorse, which they did not show, to the fact of now we're going to play the race card.
And your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
Yeah, I was actually hoping to show them, hey, look, man, I know what happened was terrible and your son made a horrible mistake. I was hoping for some accountability maybe and some remorse. Neither one was shown.
Have you ever spoken to the Anthonys?
No.
Y'all sound off below. I just gave you a ton of information. Let me know what you think about the Dream Team, the Avengers that have assembled. Let me know what you think of the appeal process. Let me know if you think he stands a chance. Again,
I know what I'm gonna do right quick. Let me see something. Let me see what I got after this one. Will it be okay? After this one, we're gonna do something. We're gonna divert from the playlist for a minute, and I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute what we're gonna listen to.
For those who've been following the channel, there's arguments for manslaughter. There's arguments for self-defense. I feel like the self-defense claim is the one that is a longer shot, although I do feel like there's some evidence at that point there. I feel at maximum it should be manslaughter, okay? I'll pin my latest video to explain that to you guys about manslaughter. So let me know what you think about the appeal process. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. You feel like this is just going to be a waste of time and he's going to have to serve out his 35 years or half of his 35 years? Sound off below. Let me know what you think about Jeff Metcalf now playing this angelic role. Like, oh, I just want it to be so sweet. Shout out to his parents, by the way. Shout out to the Carmelo Anthony's parents for, you know, switching gears and being like, oh, we thought we could have you in a press. We thought you could be cool. Somebody found out some way. Nah, this guy's a snake in the grass, man. You got to cut that grass low to see where the snakes are at. And also, just in closing, you know that Carmelo Anthony's parents came out, I think it was around 2 weeks ago, where they say that they made a mistake trusting people, not making this about race, not making a big deal about the jury, not making this, and even the defense who they picked. They're like, wow, we regret being so quiet. We should have made noise earlier. And now you see that everyone's making noise. It's an international story, and you see the dream team that's coming out. So I feel like Jeff Metcalf and his team orchestrated all of this to make their parents stay quiet, be docile, and whatever. And then now the truth comes out. So let me know what you think about Jeff Metcalf and everything that is happening. All right. When you are commenting below, please.
Shout out to Trent Out Loud. Y'all, please, I shared about on my community wall. Go over and check him out. Go over and like this video. If you like his content, subscribe to his channel. We're going to divert from what I originally, I'm going to come back to this playlist, but I'm going to go to another playlist I have, okay? I'm going to go to another playlist I have because I want to make a point. I want to make a point real quick of how people switch up and how people can be so fake and phony. I mean, so fake and phony. And they can only hide. They can only hide who they truly are, but for so long. You know what I mean? All right, give me just a second. Okay. All right, let me do something real quick. Y'all just bear with me. I promise you, it's gonna be worth it. Okay. All right. Let's do this. I'm not gonna even revisit, not today anyway. I may soon do it again, but I'm not gonna even revisit that whole racist rant he did. But I'm gonna show y'all something. So I've got a playlist here, y'all, of all the interviews that the Metcalfs has done, right? Let me get your bitch ass up out of here. True, my name is moderator. I think you pressed the button by mistake. No, I did. I meant what I did. You don't have to moderate. I just needed to recognize you in the chat. That's it. I'm going to moderate up some more people. And, you know, until this chat calms down with the trolls, if I moderate you, doesn't necessarily mean you have to moderate. It means I put you in blue so I can recognize you in the chat. Miss Monica, you absolutely don't have to moderate. I need to do that to recognize you in the chat. Okay? So I put together a playlist of all the interviews that the Metcalfs did from the time this happened up until now, right? I think I got all of them. And it's going to lead up to the last interview that Metcalf did here recent, right? And I just want y'all to pay attention to how he behaves in these initial interviews and how he behaves today, okay? Now that the gag order is up. All right, Miss Monica. It's good to see you. So let's go. We're starting at the first one.
Just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore. And I don't understand it. Just tell me about what happened today. I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He
It was absolutely the day that Austin was unalived. I don't know how this lady did it, but she stood outside of her home and she gave an interview to the cameras, because that woman just said what happened today. So this is the day that her son was unalived.
just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it. Just tell me about what happened today. I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove. I work in Grapevine, so I drove up to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So,
right,
not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it. Tell me about Austin. What do you want to know about your boy? Oh, he was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother lost his best friend. They're twins, right? Yeah, identical twins. Yeah. They've been like, they are the best of friends. Like, just, I'm so worried about my son, because he's going to have to face this world alone now, because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's going to have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him. I really am. Was Hunter with Austin today? He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from. He was trying to save his brother, but I think he said
according to trial documents, somebody else was holding the. I hate to point this stuff at y'all because I feel so bad for this woman, but in listening to these interviews, I have to point out the discrepancies. Okay, I do. It's two lies that I know of right now from what these parents had said in the beginning. And you're going to hear the daddy next. He did an interview on the same day as well. It was said in court that Hunter wasn't the one holding the wound. Hunter wasn't the one that was trying to, another person testified in court to doing that. It was not Hunter. Second lie, which the daddy told, is that Austin passed away in Hunter's arms. That's another lie. That's another lie. Let's listen.
He saw when he took his last breath, and before the CPR came back in. So he was there when he was stabbed, and he's gonna have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
Maybe they just were told these things. I don't know, because this is the day of. I don't know if Hunter gave them the story, or is that what if that's what Hunter told her or whatever. I don't know, but she told a lie this initial day, and so did the dad. Now, did they know they was lying? I don't know.
With Austin today. He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from. He was trying to save his brother, but I think he said he saw when he took his last breath, and before the CPR came back in. So. For what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little, too late. What can the community do for your family? They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, And Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family, and they're there together. So, but just to put your arms wrap around a support. This is Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
Hunter. He's a good kid. We just had a little altercation. That's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude and just took my brother. He didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it to be mine so soon. My best friend, my brother, my whole life. But if y'all could just just like thank y'all for just comforting us in like the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me. I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family. So we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, like between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do yard work together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of back other stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. So it's just really heartbreaking to see.
Hey, Rondo.
Cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
If you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I looked at my brother, and I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was strong kid.
Mm-hmm.
Real strong, and I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just like, especially throughout our friends too, like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. So I'm saying, like, I heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. And because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just all there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. And you guys are
17.
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Austin wanted to play football.
He wanted to play college football.
He would have.
He
sure.
definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ of the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him my whole life. It was just me and him always good against people. And my last year together was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, Mara. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year
for the Frisco Memorial. He was
second team all district, which he should have been first.
Yeah.
But it shows everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like he's just a great guy overall to be around, and
hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
Mm-hmm. My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next?
I don't know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just.
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition.
He never met the kid before a day in his life, but yet they tried to say Carmelo premeditated and went to this track meet to unalive this dude. They didn't know him. Hunter just said it. They didn't know him. But yet, the narrative has been spun. Carmelo got up, put the knife in his bag, intending on going to school to unalive this guy. He provoked him. He provoked him, they say, in order to unalive him. Let's continue.
Or any care, because that's not, we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So.
If Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just
how much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. he's just a great guy. So when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you. They're going to be around you no matter what. Like he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. It's like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. I always looked up to him like that. He was a big brother in a sense. He was the same age, but he was a big brother than me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, it's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I see how much you guys love and adore him.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to cry, but it's a.
I don't see how you can.
He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds. Both of them big boys, and I loved movie time with him. They would ask me if to watch a movie and sit on the couch, and he'd put his head on my lap. And
crazy.
I'd scratch his back, and he was just, I don't know. He'd tell me things. He was so personable with me, and you know, I knew stuff that most teenagers wouldn't tell their moms. That just things that because we were close, you know, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I didn't. They yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR.
Please don't try to clean up the lie you just told. Let's hear what Hunter say. Don't do that.
The future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I didn't. They yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR.
She said, "Did you hope? Listen, I'm not gonna say a word. I'm gonna let y'all hear it for yourself.
Us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I didn't. They yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR.
She just said, did you hold him until the end? That's what the lady asked him. He said, no, they yanked me off of him. So he did not pass away in his arms. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. Why the lie or the lies?
We were close, you know, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I didn't. They yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave.
I didn't. She said, did you hold him until the end? He said, I didn't. They yanked me off of him. This is coming from Hunter. Your mom and the daddy, you know,
he had to be removed.
Lord, please forgive me if I'm doing too much, but I can't with the lies though, y'all.
Because we were close, you know, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I didn't. They yanked me off him.
Yeah, they had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR. And then he wasn't able to be in the ambulance with him on the way to the hospital.
So it was just like heart throbbing the whole time, the whole ride on the hospital.
How did you get to the hospital?
My dad came. I called my mom. My mom didn't know. She didn't answer. She was at work, and she answered my phone. I told her what happened. She came in right away, and then we drove to the hospital. We're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, it was hard. That was tough because I beat the ambulance there.
Robert, I thought about that too because I know that you know, when you get a stab wound to the heart, the blood is the reason why you're passing away is because the blood is coming out of your heart. And when you do CPR, that makes the blood come out. You know what I mean? I talked about this a while ago, if y'all remember, about how the CPR, you know, I don't know about the CPR because you pumping the blood, you know what I'm saying, like out of them from that stab wound. But yeah, I thought you were supposed to, you know, stop the blood. You know, put it, you know, try to stop the blood, not pump it. That's crazy. But okay. That's crazy.
I don't even know how that's possible, but I did because I came in from Grapevine.
All right, so let's see. There's more. That was the first initial one, the day of. This is the day of.
Well, Jeff,
standing right outside where they were.
Take me through, as far as you know, the events of this morning? What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from his football coach who was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kuykendall Stadium. I said, I'm on my way. So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him, and they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing. His eyes were rolled back in his head. So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car, and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it, it was tough. My son took it extremely hard. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that. And maybe we can learn from this and try to turn a tragedy into something positive to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else's child. I don't want parents to feel like I feel today. So I've already forgiven the person who stabbed him. God's going to take care of everything. God's taking care of my son. I kissed him. When I kissed him goodbye for the last time, I told him it's not goodbye. It's see you later. So I just have to trust him, God, and my faith to pull us through. I don't understand his plan. We're all subject to trial and tribulations. God didn't say life was going to be fair or wasn't going to be hard, but he said he'll always be beside you and never leave your side. So we're going to lean deep into our faith. There's a vigil tonight at our church at 7 o'clock. I will be attending also. The outpouring of students and coaches and friends and family that showed up at the hospital immediately. It was just shows the way my son touched people's lives. He was voted team MVP of the football team this year. He carried a 4.0. He was on National Honor Society. He's ranked in the top 50 of the state in his position. He's having D1 colleges contact him. He had a great life ahead of him. And to be taken away, it's such a tragedy. I mean, I can't even tell you how I feel because I don't know how I feel. I feel numb at the moment. Yeah. I just hope that this doesn't happen to any other parent and their child. But I do hope for justice. Because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son, and his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
Now we just heard a different story from Hunter. Okay, let's listen to that again.
And their child, but I do hope for justice. Because this is unacceptable.
And the fact that, someone was immediately taken into custody, they know who did this, they are charging him with murder. I mean, how does that make you feel that police immediately got this person?
First of all, I feel sorry for that individual because he's now made a mistake that's going to cost him the rest of his life. The hard part that cost me is I lost my son and his brother.
Feel sorry. He said he feels sorry for Carmelo. Okay? I just want y'all to remember how, the things that's being said right after this situation happened.
Was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
Now, he may have watched him pass away. I'm not sure. But the whole taking him away thing, but he did not pass away in his arms. I just can't.
I need a break. They were twins, identical. They had each other's back. They were armed. Yeah.
He's more emotional than the mama, I tell you that. But I don't see how either one of them was standing on that lawn doing this interview. I mean, their son was still at this point probably at the morgue. Like, I don't understand how they was able to do it. Some people are stronger than others, so I can't judge. But I don't understand.
He told me, "Dad, I can't make it. I can't make it without him." I said, "You're gonna have to, bro. You're gonna have to." He would want us to be strong.
Can you tell me a little bit more about Austin, about his personality?
Austin was a leader. He led the football team. He was voted team MVP by his players and coaches. He played linebacker. Him and his brother both play linebacker. He played inside. His brother plays outside. We were so fortunate this past weekend that me, Hunter, and Austin, we grew up hunting together, and we had as a matter of fact, the ranch we own, the lease was not renewed, so we could never hunt there again. And we went there for the last weekend. And he said, "Dad, I've never shot a pig before. I wanted to get a pig this weekend." I said, "Okay." Lord and behold, it's a heck of a story, but he shot his first.
To add to what you said, is it Lanier? One thing I do know is this. Like I said, I can't really say, verbatim what happened in this situation, but this is something I do know from experience. Like, if a person passes away on the scene, like if he was gone up under that tent, he wouldn't have been transferred. He wouldn't have been transported to the hospital with them still trying to save him. Like, if he had passed in Hunter's arms on those bleachers, that would have been a crime scene. And I hate to be so graphic about it, but I know because I've seen it happen in real life. If he was gone up under that tent, everybody would have been whisked away. He would have been probably covered with a tarp. He would have been considered a crime scene right there in that moment. Because you got to know that after he was gone, that was considered a crime scene. We've seen the photos where they was taking pictures of the knife, taking pictures of this and that and the third. He would have still been there. He would have been there, and he wouldn't have been able to be moved until the medical examiner came to the scene. Or the coroner. He wouldn't have been able to be moved if he had passed away right there on the spot. Okay. So you right, Lanier.
Pig this weekend. And we've all talked, me, him, and Hunter both. We all talked about these are memories that you take forever. After I'm gone, you can tell your kids about, well, your grandfather and I, we were hunting and we stalked. And it took 2 hours, but we got this. I got my first pig, and he was so excited. And I'm so fortunate to be able to spend that weekend, not knowing it was the last weekend I'll ever spend there. Also was, football was his pride and joy. He was working on track to increase his speed. Matter of fact, he's already dropped this 40 times. He was telling me about how he's dropped it. He's going to drop it some more. And he was an amazing, dedicated athlete. And by the outpouring of his friends and family that showed up immediately at the hospital, it goes to show how he impacted other people's lives. Well, for me, I was diagnosed with cancer 9 years ago, and I was not supposed to live. And God blessed me because he knew I needed to be a father for these two boys. My two boys is what my life lived. I lived my life for my children. That was my why to keep fighting. Now I'm cancer free. So God had a plan for me. So I was able to watch and be blessed so much to have both my sons are amazing. My other son is just crushed. And I feel for him now, and he'll never be the same. None of us will. Grief, we all go through it, but the thing about grief is you don't get over it. You just learn to live with it. So, I don't have a choice other than to carry on. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure Austin's never forgotten. I'm sure he won't be. He's touched a lot of people's lives. He was a great individual, a leader, an athlete, very smart, 4.0. I couldn't ask for a better son. Two of them. I couldn't ask. They were my whole life. And for it to be taken away so senselessly, when this guy was just sitting in Ron's spot and they asked him to move, and he winds up stabbing my son in the heart and killing him. It's unfortunate, but he's gonna have to answer for those consequences. And I hope justice is served.
Yeah, is that and I know Hunter probably everything happened so quickly. I mean, is that what he kind of told you what happened?
Let me say this right quick for people who say that if they had Carmelo had no reason to be afraid for his life or feel threatened by Austin putting his hands on him. How many of y'all remember a story that we talked about a couple of months ago? Could have been more than a couple of months ago. We've covered so many stories. But do y'all remember the young lady that was walking home from school and somebody jumped on her and they were fighting? The girl jumped on her or whatever, and they was fighting on the way home from school, and she got home and she passed away. She was a young girl. Y'all remember that? The reason why she passed away when she got home is because during that fight, she hit her head. During that fight, she hit her head and had blunt force trauma. And she passed away from a fight. No weapons. No weapons. Just fighting. These guys were under a canopy, pretty much, on a rainy day, on a set of bleachers. Has anybody walked on a set of slippery, wet bleachers? Hey, Merle. Just them fighting out there could have been, deadly. It turned out to be deadly, which I wish hadn't happened, shouldn't have happened. But people can't say what Carmelo was feeling or thinking in the moment about him being threatened or him being in danger. And please, people, stop saying that no one passes away from a fight, because it happens. It's happened a lot. It's happened a lot. If Austin didn't want to fight Carmelo, he shouldn't have approached him. And let's just say he had a right to ask him to leave. And once Carmelo decided not to leave, he should have got an adult. Point blank, period. Still gonna say that Austin did not deserve to pass away. He did not. I think it was in Georgia, Lanier, if I'm not mistaken. I think, but don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
Will Austin have any enemies? Did Austin know this person?
No, they have no contact with this person ever before. I can tell you what happened. I know firsthand. I wasn't there, but I talked to my son, and everything I know.
They confirmed they had no contact with Carmelo before. They did not know him. So the whole notion that he knew them, had beef with them, took the knife to the school to intentionally unalive him is bullshit. It's bullshit.
Exactly how it all transpired. It was a multi-Frisco High School track meet. Many high schools were there. It started to rain, and they have their own little tent for memorial. And they were sitting there, and someone was behind them mouthing off, and he turned around and said, "Who are you?" And he said, "I'm Mello." He said, "Well, you don't belong here. You don't go to memorial." He had a Centennial tracksuit on. And he said, "You need to leave. This ain't your spot." And some words were discussed. I'm not going to say on camera but he asked him to leave and basically said, "Make me." And then he wound up stabbing him in the heart and killing him. All over someone sitting in the wrong spot at a track meet. Now, I don't blame his parents. I don't blame him. But they all will suffer too. I feel for their family, because now their son will probably wind up in prison and learn that he killed someone. And he devastated and took my son that I can never get back. It's unfortunate for everyone involved. And I just hope it doesn't happen to anyone else. This world, there need to be changes, and it starts at home. So I don't know. I'm not judging. I'm just having to say that try to be kind in this world. And if you can't be kind, find someone who is.
Oh my gosh, Jeff. I mean, is there anything else that you want people to know about Austin? If you want people to know how he'll be remembered, is there anything else that you haven't shared?
I mean, it's hard right now. My thoughts are all over the place, to be honest. I mean, there's so many great things about him. I could probably sit here for 3 hours and go on and on and on. But he was a great friend. He was a leader. He was well respected in school by his teammates, by his coaches, by his friends. His girlfriend came up to me and said, "You know what? He talks about you a lot, and he loved you, and he treated me with great respect." And he goes, "You taught him that. he was going to turn out to be a great individual and impact this world with positivity. So he was on the right track. He was doing everything right. I was so proud to have two sons, not just him, but two sons that do the exact same thing. My other son, Hunter's like, Dad, I can't go on because Austin always had my back. I said, I know. And when I kissed his forehead today, as his body was cold, I ran my fingers through his hair. I told him, it's not goodbye. It's see you later. I'll join you at some point too, son. You just beat me to this place. So you keep an eye on me up there. Put in a good word for me. And we'll meet again. Yep. The only thing is keeping me together. Otherwise, sorry. Otherwise, I'd be in a rubber room right now. So all I can do is pray. I don't understand it, but I have to live through it, and I have to still be here for my other son. So my journey's not done. It just took a really bad detour today that I'll probably never get over. I'll live with it the rest of my life. And I sure as hell don't want any other parent to feel the way that I feel today. Because when I got the call, I was scared, but I was thinking, hoping like he's stabbed in the stomach. It's not gonna be that big a deal, surgery, as long as he's okay. When I saw him, I knew it wasn't good. And then when his brother told me, Dad, I tried to hold the wound to the blood, but there was too much. And he died in my arms. It's tragic. I don't know what else to really say.
How can the community best help you right now? Help you and your family right now? Is it thoughts and prayers? Is there a GoFundMe? How can they help you?
I hadn't even thought about that. That's a good idea. GoFundMe. I'll probably have someone set that up. And, prayers, I believe I'm heavy in faith, and, we just pray that this doesn't happen again to someone else. Unfortunately, I get to be the example, but, we have to try to turn negatives into positives. And he was a great kid, and he impacted a lot of lives. I'll never forget him, and neither will a lot of other people. So community-wise, talk to your kids, teach your kids. It all starts at home. I know this world has changed. I'm old school. It's a different world. It's unfortunate, but we all have to evolve. And if we all don't come together, black, white, yellow, brown, I don't care. It's all about human beings. We got to care about each other. We got to be kind to each other. You need to show compassion, show empathy, not anger, not rage. Teach your kids the right from wrong. And pray to God this doesn't happen to yours.
No. Do you have any questions for Jeff? No. Jeff, anything else you'd like to share?
No, I just pray for my family right now in this time. It's a very tough time. I'm not sure how we will get through it, but I know God will get us through it. And I'll have a hole that I will carry with me the rest of my life, unfortunately.
It's a terrifying, gut-wrenching, incomprehensible.
This another one. This another one, y'all, that was done back then. Listen.
Scene in Frisco, Texas, just 20 miles north of where I sit here today. A high school track meet yesterday turned deadly. 17-year-old football star Austin Metcalf was stabbed in the heart and left to die in his twin brother's arms after a fight broke out yesterday. The suspect was allegedly told he was sitting in the wrong seat in the stands of the stadium before drawing a knife and attacking Austin. Police have yet to reveal what led up to that moment, but we do know the other student has been charged with murder. Joining me now is Austin's mother, Megan Metcalf, and his twin brother, Hunter. Megan, Hunter, thank you for being with me today. I can't imagine how difficult of a day, and I have to start with how sorry I am of what you're going through this morning, this afternoon. I'd like to just start. I'd love to just start with tell me about Hunter. If you could, Megan, tell me about your son.
I think I can speak for her for a little bit. She comes down just a little bit, but as me, I know I'm a little more.
All right, y'all, listen. So mind you, this is, I want to say it's the next day. If it's not the next day after they did those initial interviews, it's a couple of days afterwards. But I want y'all to listen really, really carefully, okay, to Hunter. And I want y'all to pay attention to the fact that at this point, I don't know who's in the background. I don't know if it's a lawyer. I don't know if it's that woman's husband, because his mama is married to somebody else, right? She's not married to the dad. She has a husband. I don't know who's in the background, but pay attention to what happens. Just pay attention to what he's saying, and then pay attention to what happens.
To reveal what led up to that moment, but we do know the other student has been charged with murder. Joining me now is Austin's mother, Megan Metcalf, and his twin brother, Hunter. Megan, Hunter, thank you for being with me today. I can't imagine how difficult of a day, and I have to start with how sorry I am of what you're going through this
Is this the same day? Because he say, okay, just listen, y'all.
morning, this afternoon. I think I'd like to just start. I'd love to just start with tell me about Hunter. If you could, Megan, tell me about your son.
I think I can speak for her for a little bit, so she just comes out just a little bit. But as me, I know I'm a little more, spontaneous. I like to do stuff all around and just get out of line sometimes. And Austin's always there to check on me and keep me straight, so I wouldn't be in trouble and do anything like that.
Hunter and Megan, whenever you feel ready, jump into the conversation. If you never feel ready, that's completely understandable to me and everybody else watching. Hunter, thanks so much for being able to do this today. Just a little more about your brother, Austin. From what I understand, I think he has it in his social media bio, 3.96 GPA student, certainly definitely into football. And it looked, when I was looking into him last night, he was very interested in being recruited to play football in college.
Yes, sir. He was very highly recruited, just like coming out of his junior year. He's had a really great year, and everyone on the team, coaches, everyone knew around the area just knew he was about to do big things in football. And besides his GPA, man, that dude was extremely smart, always in the books. He just came to him real easy, and just him playing football as well just made him just a great person overall.
Megan, we'll try this again, both of us, and we'll see how far we get. When I read your story last night, obviously this is not about me. I have a 17-year-old son. I live 20 miles south of you. My son's in Frisco every night playing soccer, and we have a lot of friends who knew Austin. So the circles got tight, and this.
Ain't that something? When he's at Fox News and he's close to. No wonder Fox News been cutting the book. Okay, that explains a lot.
Really close to home, and I'm just so sorry for you. Can you explain us at all today how you feel? It's just got to be so. The word I keep coming back to, Megan, is incomprehensible. How could this happen at a track meet?
It is. She just said my son is gone, and I don't really have words. I've tried to figure out what I was going to say, but he's just going to be so missed by mostly our family, but this whole community has really wrapped their arms around us. And if I could say anything to the nation, I would say to make sure that you just hug your babies tight, because you don't know when the last time you get to do it.
Hunter, I know you were there. Thank you, Megan. Take your time. Hunter, I know you were there when it happened. What can you tell us about what happened at that track meet? How could this thing that seems like is not on the menu of possibilities could happen? Again, I was at a track meet, by the way, on Tuesday. This is not something you think could ever happen. How did it happen?
So there was a really bad storm in the morning, and they had a lot of delays. And me, my brother, a couple of kids were walking back from the field house of the middle school, because we attended that middle school when we went to middle school. And we were saying hello to old coaches and catching up with them. And then we're walking back to our stand. We put our tent up so all the bleachers were right there. Were not wet from all the rain. We come back, we sit down, and this kid said something behind me. I've never met this kid in my entire life. I never knew who he was. Said something just inappropriate and uncalled for. And I turned around and asked him who he was. He started getting really aggressive. My brother stepped in. He started being, how he always is when he's just brothers, just having my back. And things started getting more higher intensity. And the kid said some aggressive stuff, reckless stuff, and also try to handle the problem.
Austin was always one to step up. He always.
Do y'all notice how she always interrupts him when he goes to talking about what happened? Did y'all notice that in the first interview? Like, he's asked a straight, direct question. He's very much capable of answering and speaking, but she always steps in every time he says, okay, let me tell you when she steps in, and I'm going to see if y'all notice. She always steps in when he talks about how Austin approached Carmelo. She always steps in and say, Austin is just a leader. He always steps in. He always help people. He always got his brother back. Like she's making an excuse as to why both of these brothers were approaching this young man. You get what I'm saying? Let's pay attention. She knows it was wrong.
Started getting more higher intensity, and the kid said some like aggressive stuff, like reckless stuff, and also trying to handle the problem. And
Austin tried to handle the problem. Austin tried to handle the problem. Austin was known, God rest his soul, Lord Jesus, to handle the problems. Yep. According to, some of the kids at the school, according to the cheerleaders. Yeah. That's Austin tried to handle the problem. Wow.
Austin was always on the step up. He always was one.
Austin is always the one to step up. Same thing she said in the previous interview. She's stepping in to explain to y'all why it took Austin and Hunter to confront this young man. Pay attention.
To step up and be the person that would do the right thing. And he was doing the right thing by saying to this gentleman that you're not supposed to be in this tent. This is because they have personal items there.
See, you as the mom should understand that, or be saying in front of Hunter that truly, I know it may hurt your heart to say it and your son is gone. And I promise you, I know how you feel, but you should even know, Mom, that if Austin did the right thing and tried to remove Carmelo, and Carmelo gave him, mouth or said reckless things, as Hunter keep putting it, you should be the mom to say, I wish he had went and gotten an adult, or he should have went and got an adult. But see, y'all taught them to be the way that they are. You think it's okay that both of your humongous ass sons are always fucking with people. Y'all know this. That's why you and your husband and Hunter said, oh, he's the leader. He's the one that handles everything. He's the ones that this. He's the one. He's a child. I understand being team captain. I understand the role of being team captain. My son was one. But being team captain don't mean you go around fucking with people, flexing your muscles and shit. Being team captain, from what I seen from my son, you support the team. You be there for the team members. You hype them up. You encourage them. You motivate them. You be a leader in that aspect when it comes to the team and the game. Not randomly fucking with other people in the school. Picking fights and shit.
a lot of stuff gets stolen, just like that, just precautions and stuff. And our coaches always told us don't let other schools mess with our stuff in our area. And we set that up for the girls.
You know what? I'm gonna let that go.
Track every meet we had, so it's just like he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. It was just a tragedy what happened.
And then what happened, Austin? After your brother stepped up, what happened then?
Okay, so did y'all hear when he said what happened when after such and such and such? Did y'all hear a male voice say something? Now, do I have a closed caption on? Because maybe it'll pick it up. I don't know. Somebody, a male voice in the background said something, and he kind of paused. Did y'all pay attention to that? Hold on.
A lot of stuff gets stolen, just like that, just precautions and stuff. And our coaches always told us don't let other schools mess with our stuff, just in our area. And we set that up for the girls track every meet we had. So it's just like he knew he wasn't supposed to be there. He was it's just a tragedy what happened.
And then what happened, Austin? After your brother stepped up, what happened then?
He stepped up over there, asked him to move, got aggressive, he grabbed the
I don't know what that man said, but that man said something in the background.
bag. And then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him run down the bleachers, grabbing his chest, just blood rushing out. He said, "Yeah, he got stabbed." Bleach.
What happened, Austin, after your brother stepped up? What happened then?
He stepped up over there, asked him to move, got aggressive, he grabbed the bag, and then I whipped my head around, and then all of a sudden I see him run down the bleachers, grabbing his chest, just blood rushing out. He said, "Yeah, he got stabbed. He got stabbed." First, I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do, and then I saw him fall. I went to go over there. I grabbed him. I see.
Let's go.
Yeah, I understand. Best I can.
Yeah, there was. You can see. You can picture what happened when what was coming out of his chest, and y'all can visualize other stuff. I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head. I looked in his eyes.
What?
I saw him about to fall. Blood rushing out. He said, "Yeah, he got stabbed. He got stabbed." First, I froze for half a second. I didn't know what to do, and then I saw him about to fall. I went to go over there. I grabbed him. I see.
Let's go.
I digress.
Yeah, I understand. Best I can.
Yeah, there was. You can see. You can picture what happened when what was coming out of his chest, and y'all can visualize other stuff. I don't want to put down my mom right now, but I pushed my hand on there, trying to make it stop, and I grabbed his head, and I looked in his eyes. I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to ask you one last question. I've seen interviews with your husband, who I can hear in the side, by the way. I think he's there in the room with you. I saw an interview last night. Okay, someone else. Yes, okay.
Why Hunter stopped her? See, the guy said, I saw interviews with your husband, who is not her husband. He's her ex-husband. I didn't know that, but you know Austin, but you didn't know. You be in Fresno all the time. You know people that know Austin. I guess you don't directly know them, but okay, great. You didn't know that they were divorced. You didn't know that this lady has remarried. So this guy says, I've seen interviews with your husband, who I hear he's in the room. He's in the room right now, and she was getting ready to say something, and Austin stopped her. Hunter stopped her. Why? Why your child stopping you from talking? What was you? Let's back it up.
I just saw his soul leave, and it took my soul too.
Question. I've seen interviews with your husband, who I can hear in the side, by the way. I think he's there in the room with you. I saw an interview last night. Okay, someone else. Yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
But I have seen interviews with your husband in the last 24 hours, and it was remarkable to me that I heard your husband say, within hours of this, that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I...
Hunter is whispering something to his mom. I don't know what's going... Like, hindsight is 20/20, y'all. But pay attention. While this man keeps saying your husband and this lady, I promise y'all, I can read body language. She can't stand that man. Her baby daddy, she don't like him. She don't like her baby daddy. Now, while this guy keeps saying husband, and she's sitting up there listening, ready to say this, he is not my damn husband. Hunter is whispering something to her. Please tell me y'all see what I see, okay? If you don't say it. But if you see what I see, tell me I'm not losing my damn mind.
else. Yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
But I have seen interviews with your husband in the last 24 hours, and it was remarkable to me that I heard your husband say, within hours of this, that he forgave this other young man, and he got there so quickly. And I honestly don't know that I could. And I just want to see, and I don't know if there's a right or a wrong place to be, especially as quickly as this has happened. Megan, how do you feel on that front today?
I am not like their dad. I am so angry.
She didn't say I'm not like my husband. She said I'm not like their dad.
Have that boy. then it's just not fair. That's all I have.
I understand.
I'd like to say it's forgave, not forgotten, but I'm not at that point yet to forgive that kid what he did to my brother. Because, 17 years my best friend just there in the blink of an eye, I lost him. So I'm not at that point to forgive and forget. But eventually I will. But I pray for his family. I pray that they understand what we're going through as well. I just pray for everybody.
I totally understand where both of you sit today on that front. I don't know that I could either. That's why I found it remarkable when I heard that from your husband. But everyone has to go through this their own way. I just pray that God goes through this with you both and your husband and the rest of your family. And I really appreciate you sharing the story with me and the rest of the nation. Megan Hunter.
That's the husband sitting in the room. He got to be over there about to piss himself. He got to be over there. I don't know how he's feeling, being as though they going through what they're going through in the moment. But just know that he keep calling Jeff her husband, but her husband is sitting in the room in the background. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Our prayers remain with you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. There is a GoFundMe, by the way, for the family of Austin Metcalf that is up now, which you can.
All right. Moving on. Here's another one, y'all. Well, this is another one with WFAA. Let's see.
My hope was to bring awareness so this tragedy doesn't happen to another family.
Okay, so Mr. Metcalf, it's JFF and then METCALF. You are Austin's father.
Yes, sir.
Easy question to start with. It's probably a tough one to answer, but how have the last 24 hours been for you and for your family, for Hunter?
That's 3 questions. So for me, it's not real yet. It hasn't sunk in. I'm just happy to stay strong so we can handle all the things that need to be handled. Arrangements, people flying in, people coming from all over. So I haven't had a chance to really grieve yet. I know at some point when this is all over and we're able to put him in the ground, then I'll probably break down and grieve that way. But right now I'm really numb and I really don't feel anything. I just have to function. And I need to be there for my son and my family. And I need to make sure I set an example for my son.
Austin obviously is the son, and also Hunter.
Yes, he needs to make a good. I agree, sir. I agree. That's why I don't understand why a year later, after the trial and everything that went on, you went on that racist rant for 2 hours. You do need to, and that's what I was telling people. That's what I was saying to people when I say in the aftermath when something like this happens and you got other kids to be concerned about, you got grandkids like me to be concerned about. You don't, even though you're very angry. I get it. Like I told Trey, I understand the man is angry. I feel every piece of, I feel anger every day, but you to set example for your son that's left, me, my daughters that was left, you have to handle yourself accordingly. You can't be out here. You can, of course, express how angry you are. Yes, but to come out here and do a whole 2-hour racist rant, what kind of example are you setting for Hunter? What kind of example are you setting? You said in this interview, I need to be an example to my son. What happened, sir?
Talking about here.
Yes, sir.
Walk me through who Austin was to you. I know that you said so much about him, I think, in the last 24 hours here. Everyone else has said a lot about him, too, about how great of a kid he was. In your eyes, though, just as a father, who was he to you?
My boys are the biggest blessing in my life. God provided them to me. God's going to get me through this. I had a dream last night. And Austin came to me and said, I'm okay. It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but it gives me great peace. So one of the things my son, Hunter, his ability to stay strong is a character to his brother. His brother, they had each other's back. They were tight. I
wonder why. I'm going to say that. Okay, let's listen.
Seen a bond like that. Being identical twins, technically Austin was his big brother. Those boys were my everything. I had cancer almost 10 years ago. I wasn't supposed to live, but that was my why, to fight. And without those boys, I probably would have succumbed and gave in, but they were in my heart, and I fought hard because I wanted to be their father. I wanted to be there for them throughout the years they grow up, so I can share my wisdom and share my mistakes so they won't do the same. Austin was an outstanding athlete, person, friend, loyal, loving. He would light up the room. He was such a leader naturally. On that team, he would fire those guys up. He would step on that field. He would become a totally different person. His level of play was above most everyone else. He led the team. He was voted team MVP by his coaches and teammates. He's had multiple coaches, colleges contact him. He is one of the most outstanding. Him and his brother both have been athletes all their lives, from soccer to baseball to jiu-jitsu to football. They did it all, and they excelled every time. And I told them, you guys are so lucky because not everyone has your talent, but you have to make sure you take that talent and harness it in the right way. And Austin was able to harness many things in his life. Loyalty to his brother, his love for all his friends and family. He was such an outstanding young man. I was so proud. I bragged on my children all the time. Anyone who knows me knows how much my kids meant to me. They were my entire world. My world's a little shattered, but I still have Hunter, and I always have Austin.
I know that the last day has just been gut-wrenching for you and your family. You've spoken, obviously, to a couple of other outlets. I know Hunter's leaving. Do you need to say goodbye? Or?
No, I told him we're good.
Okay. We haven't really had a chance to talk to you about this. You had mentioned a few times that you had forgiven the suspect for what
That's correct.
He did.
I do.
But we just informed you about these documents. And
that doesn't change anything. This has to do with me and God. God teaches us in the Bible. He talks about forgiveness. He also talks about revenge. Not for me to seek. God will take care of it. Karma, I believe in it. It's very, very unfortunate.
All right, you say God said don't take revenge. You say it's in the Bible, don't take revenge. But if we were to sit and listen, which we might do, because people need to understand why I'm replaying these interviews and understand where your so-called mindset was back then versus now, even after you have received your quote-unquote justice, right? So you said God say no revenge, but in your racist rant, you talked about all types of revenge. You did. You talked about all types of revenge, and you said you had forgiven, but your actions does not show forgiveness. You said forgiveness is for you to let go of anger. You're still angry, sir, and I get it. Please don't nobody misunderstand me when I say this. I understand and resonate with his anger. If he was to say he was not angry, I would be giving him the side eye. My son was killed 5 years ago. 5. I still wake up angry. I still go to sleep angry. I go through the day angry. A lot of days. So I understand his anger. I do. But I'm not angry with the world. I'm not angry with white people because the guy that unalived my son was part white. I'm not angry with his parents. I'm not angry with any and everybody. I'm angry with him. The guy. The man that took my son. So in being angry with him, I do my best not to take out my anger on innocent people. Because it's not fair. It's not fair that he came out here and called Carmelo's mama a drunk bitch. It's not fair that he's going in on that young man's daddy. They didn't do anything wrong. He said they was nothing ass, trash ass parents because their son made a mistake. He's talking like they raised their son to unalive someone. See, what I'm trying to prove is anybody can speak the words. Anybody can speak the words, but it's all in your actions.
Does this other child decide to make a bad choice that's going to affect him for the rest of his life? I have compassion for every human being. This is not, I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on the soapbox trying to politicize this. I don't appreciate some of the...
Said from day one, I got to give it to him. He said, do not. He tried to bully the public into, he said, do not make this a race issue. Do not make this political. Then you, a year later, go on a whole racist rant. And your excuse is, since people want to make it about race, let me turn into a racist. Let me say all these racist statements. Let me have a whole racist rant. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I appreciate that. Thank y'all. But because he asked the public not to make it racist, and people made it racist. Because he asked the people not to make it about race, and they did, right? Since they did, he now uses that as an excuse to go on a whole racist rant. Now, how adult-like is that? How adult-like is that? I'm just saying. Let's listen.
Remarks I've seen online that people say there was this fight and they don't know. They weren't there. I know the truth. So unless you were there, unless you saw it, don't spread gossip.
Just to ask you this one question, like I had mentioned, the self-defense argument made by the suspect. What's your reaction to that if that's used in court or used?
As a defense attorney, they're going to try every avenue. That's their job. The truth will come out. There were too many people that were there that saw what happened. My own son told me what happened. There was never a punch even thrown. So I don't care. There was never a phone broken. We've never had contact with this individual ever.
Never had contact. There was never a phone broken. That's true, because there's been no evidence of no phone. But there was a shove, there was a push, and there was them taking his property. Hunter said it himself that his brother snatched Carmelo's bag. So no, there wasn't a phone broken. No, there wasn't. There wasn't a punch. No, there wasn't. But can you state what did happen, sir? Can you state what did happen? Oh, Grenier, I'm on my job, boo. You might need to get on yours, because you can't be on yours if you in my chat. I'm on my job. This is my job right here. Let me boot you out so you can go find you one. How about that? All right, y'all, let's listen.
So unless you were there, I don't appreciate all the gossip and all the mistruths that people are.
Shadow Pope, I'm not gonna block you, but I am gonna delete your comment. Don't put the gun word in my chat, please. Appreciate it.
Speaking at this moment.
Is that shocking to hear or read, or at least hear from me, say that that's what he told police after that moment?
No, what do you expect? If you're caught, the best thing you're gonna do is try to lie your way out of it. Now, I'm not saying he's a liar, but the truth and the facts, justice will prevail. It has nothing to do with me.
I want to talk about the charity that the public has really shown, and obviously the complete wrapping of arms. I know that's some phrases that you always hear about when we talk about these situations, but you guys set up a GoFundMe, and a lot of people have really come to the aid of your family.
I am overwhelmed. I had no idea the response that this generated. And my hope was to bring awareness so this tragedy doesn't happen to another family. I don't want a parent to go through the pain I have to go through. Money will never bring my son back, but I have to take care of what's left. And I have support of my friends, my family, my neighbors, the community, people I don't even know, my coworkers, everyone. We had a vigil last night at the church. It was full. It held 1,700 people, impromptu. It was the most moving, touching thing I could ever feel. This is about human compassion. The world needs more kind people. If you can't find one, be one.
So yeah.
Had a great hunting trip.
Let's see. I think this is the last one. No, it's not. It's not the last one, but okay, we're gonna listen to it's this one and plus another one. And then two, I might just listen to I'm not gonna listen to the whole thing, but I might just replay the racist rant that he did a couple of days ago.
With me, him, and Austin.
Just because there's so many angry people in the chat. So many angry people. You people need God. Get over it.
Yeah, he said, I'm going to come over and see you this weekend. I said, okay, I look forward to it. And he said, I love you, Dad. I said, I love you too, son. Those were the last words I ever heard from him.
We're just one person. We did everything the same. We're just exactly alike. Like we had a couple differences, but most of the stuff we did together and the stuff we had, it's just we felt as one person. So it's like we just connected so well in everything we did.
His commitment, his work ethic was about football. The boy stayed in the gym. The boy led the team. He was the leader. He was the glue. He was the driving force of that defense. He carried that team.
And every time we go to the gym, I get stronger, get better, get faster. I got an accomplishment in the weight room for football. And Austin's a smile just popped up. He was just so proud of me. Just give me the biggest hug.
He was on his way to becoming a super positive impact in this world. It's not right. You should never bury your children. It's a very unfortunate, tragic outcome.
I wasn't going to say anything. I was just going to let it ride, but I have to say it because that's just how I do my content. And again, I don't want anybody to think that I don't have sympathy or empathy for these family, the dad, the brother, the mom. And I will say again, Austin did not deserve to die. He should not be gone. But I gotta say this, the dad made it a point at the end of that last interview to say something about kindness, right? And I'm gonna make this point. I know I made it in the live before, I'm gonna make it again. If you taught your boys kindness, right? And this is just how I feel, and this is how this is what I taught, my kids as far as kindness. If you taught your sons about kindness, right, and you exhibit kindness, is there any particular person or people or, that you choose to be kind to? Because let me tell you how kindness, if kindness had come into play throughout this whole scenario, Austin may still be here. Okay. Kindness would have been, even though your son and Carmelo were on opposite teams, right? They were not teammates. They ran for two different schools, but they both were sportsmen, right? Kindness would have been, it was raining. It was raining, and Carmelo's school had not put their tent up yet. So that meant now Carmelo and another person had been run from up under the whatever, that dugout or whatever, by the coaches and sent back out to the rain, which is another thing I don't understand, but okay. So if Carmelo came up under that tent, that canopy to retreat from the rain, kindness would have allowed him to be there, because there were other people up under that tent that did not attend y'all's school the same way Carmelo didn't attend the school. Kindness allowed y'all to let those people stay without confronting them. Kindness would have been to say, oh, this is our tent, but, and you're not supposed to be up under here. Your school tent is not up yet, so it's raining. How about we just let old boy, chill out? That would have been kindness. I'm just saying, because he made the point about being kind. The world need more kindness. I agree.
Not only for this family, but I feel for the family of the assailant because his life is over.
Calf joins me now here in Dallas. Jeff, thanks for being
Okay,
here.
now this interview he did a couple days ago, maybe a day or so ago. Fast forward, y'all, because all those other interviews were back when it first happened, right? So this interview we finna watch right now, we've already watched it one time. We're gonna watch it again. This interview was actually done. I don't want to lie. A day ago. This is Jeff Metcalf a day ago.
With us here today.
Thank you, Will. Thanks for having me.
You know, I think I'd love to just start this conversation with some of what I just shared with the audience. This is not new to you. I'm sure you've seen the video and heard the 911 call. I did notice you took your earpiece out. You didn't want to hear that audio again of the 911 call.
Correct.
Just too hard to hear it again and
Yeah.
to see this video.
And there's another body cam footage that hasn't been released, and it has some pretty graphic details, and I can hear my son screaming, and it's something I don't really want to care to listen to again.
Totally understandable. What, with this video's release, Jeff, do you hope the public can see about this moment?
Well, I mean, obviously, the trial not being publicly viewed live, there's so many minors involved. And that's a different subject I could talk about on its own, because look at the damage that these young students who had to witness this murder, who have to live with this for the rest of their life. Every one of them, I believe, are in counseling. PTSD could be a thing. I mean, this is a trauma that you carry the rest of your life, possibly. Hopefully they can get the help they need and move forward and not be scarred from it. Me personally, I'm the same way. I need the help too, to make sure that I can move forward. And that's what I really want to concentrate on, is moving forward. I hope this video can clear up a lot of the misinformation that was provided throughout the entire year before the trial came to light. There were multiple lies and mistruths that were put on social.
One thing I want y'all to pay attention to, and I'm trying not to stop it and let y'all just listen to him and notate his demeanor and things of that nature. You know what's shocking? Well, actually, it's not. It's not shocking. But this interview took place a day ago. Jeff Metcalf went on that racist rant, maybe a week or two ago. He did that whole racist 2-hour rant. Let's listen to see if this Fox News reporter gonna ask him about that live he did. Let's see if they gonna ask him about that whole racist rant he did. Let's see. Because I can guarantee you, had that been Carmelo's dad that did what he did, it would have been made a big deal of. I mean, honestly, it would have been reshared, posted. All mainstream media, including Fox, would have been playing it over and over and over again. But let's see if he's going to be questioned about it. Some of the things he said in that racist rant.
Social media that were spoken by even individuals that have some fame. People had their own opinions without even seeing the facts. And that's the part I have trouble with.
What do you make of that? Candidly, with the audience, you and I spoke a little bit earlier today, and it's one of the great mysteries for me, and how something that is so clear, the facts so obvious, was turned into something that was this great national discussion of race. I think you called it earlier. How did this become George Floyd 2.0?
Unfortunately, in today's moral decay of society, as we witnessed, people believe that if they have their own voice, they scream loud enough, they're right. And they believe perception is their own reality. It may not be truth, but in their mind, it is their own reality. For a person to not able to objectively look at something, use common logic, common sense, to come to a determination just based on merely the facts, not the color of one's skin, that tells me a whole lot about your character if you choose that direction.
And you told me you feel like you know the moment this became more than simply a horrible tragedy and a crime story in North Texas, where it became this larger thing, and it was that press conference.
Yes, sir. I do believe that was probably one of the turning points. I was there to show up to pray. I was hoping we could show the world this wasn't a racial divide thing, that we could kind of close the gap instead of widening it. But at that point, they'd obviously retained the services of Dominique Alexander, a convicted baby-shaking felon advocate who decided to throw me out of the press conference, have me removed by police, and then proceeded to gaslight me and tell me how I was such, I can't remember the word he used, but that I shouldn't have been there, and it was not dignified to my son or myself, which I really couldn't quite understand as they proceeded to gaslight me. And also took there was a young lady who has followed the case also from the entire time. Her name is Sarah Fields. Also showed information about her. That's when they took it from any type of remorse, which they did not show, to the fact of now we're going to play the race card. And now we're going to politicize this. Now we're getting a political activist involved. The two things I said on one of the first interviews I ever did was, please don't make this about race and please don't politicize it. But they chose to do both.
And your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, yeah. I was actually hoping to show them, hey, look, man, I know what happened was terrible. And your son made a horrible mistake. I was hoping for some accountability maybe and some remorse. Neither one was shown.
Okay, so you went to their press conference. Sir, you bully you. You went to their press conference for them to show you remorse and accountability. First of all, Carmelo showed remorse right after. I don't know if you've been missing it, sir. You seem to have watched everything, all this footage. Carmelo showed remorse right after it happened. He did. People don't want to admit it, but the boy showed remorse after it happened. What in the hell do the parents have to have accountability for? Birthing him? Raising him up in a good two-parent home? Educating him? Having him in sports and everything? Doing everything they can for him to be a productive part of society? Because that's all I seen that they did. And we don't know for sure, but I'm just going by what we've seen. So what are the parents supposed to be showing accountability for, sir? And how did you think you showing up at their press conference, you was going to make them? You were going to make them cry to show remorse. You were going to make them take accountability. Y'all got to pay attention to when people speak.
Have you ever spoken to the, and your goal that day was to simply get together and pray?
All I wanted, yeah. I was actually hoping to show them, hey, look, man, I know what happened was terrible. And your son made a horrible mistake. I was hoping for some accountability maybe. And
their son made a horrible mistake. Who was you going to get the accountability for? Because Carmelo wasn't there. And Carmelo was ordered to stay away from you. See, that's another thing people not talking about. Carmelo was under house arrest. Carmelo was at home with a leg brace on. He wasn't supposed to be nowhere around them. And this man shouldn't have been nowhere around him or his parents. But since he in cahoots with everybody, including probably the fucking police, he felt like he can go up in there. He knew he ain't had no business being around them people. If there's an order for Carmelo to stay away from you, what the fuck makes you think that you should be able to go around his parents? People not paying attention to what everybody want to entertain lies and shit and get his man a pass because he lost his son. I feel for him that he lost his son. I get it. But you still can't go around feeling entitled to shit. Hold on. All right, y'all. Let's listen.
Some remorse. Neither one was shown.
Have you ever spoken to the Anthonys?
No.
No apology, no remorse?
Nothing.
You were telling me you were inside the courtroom, quite obviously. After the verdict, the Anthonys left. They weren't there for Carmelo's sentencing.
That is correct. They weren't there for the sentencing, and they were not there for victim impact statements. They left that poor child up there by himself. As soon as the verdict was read, he was guilty. His family and some other advocates left the courtroom and turned in their badges.
Jeff, I was talking to you earlier. I asked about Austin's twin brother, Hunter. And I asked you, what has life been like for Hunter in school? Frisco Memorial has other black students. What's the relationships been like at school? What has life been like for Hunter?
Well, I can't speak, for Hunter. I can only try to imagine. But I mean, he held his grades. He has.
Oh, you can't speak for Hunter, but you should be able to answer as to how he's dealing. Have you even been around Hunter? Have you seen Hunter? We know y'all don't live in the same household. I mean, you can't speak for him, but you can say you can't speak to what he's been going through as far as school. All you can continue to talk about is his grades and football, general type shit. Like, do you know what he's feeling? Do you know how he's dealing? Do you talk to him on a daily? I mean, you from your perspective, just from communicating with your son, should have been able to tell that man something about how he's dealing. Of course, you can't speak for him, but see, I already know what the deal is. And a lot of people don't want to admit it, but this man ain't got no relationship with that woman. He probably barely had a relationship with Hunter and Austin before this shit happened. I mean, all you got to do is just pay attention, people. Still doesn't take away from the fact that he lost his son, whether he was around him or not. But I'm just saying.
Trey Days this year, he was captain of the football team, took over his brother's position. I honestly can't see anyone that has.
Every time he's asked about his son, all he can talk about is this football shit. And that's what really, kind of gets to me. Like, you can't talk about him on a personal level. You always talking about what he did as far as football. Talk about him as not a football player, as a son.
The strength or the mental fortitude as much as that young man does. I told him right after the trial when he went up to give his victim impact statement that I saw a boy walk up there, but what I saw walk down was a man. He was calm, to the point, was able to articulate his words in a way that could be very understood very well, asked Carmelo to look him in the eye and show him some respect, and never once became emotional and was able to convey what his thoughts were at that moment.
And you told me that multiple black students throughout Frisco High, Memorial High, also in the middle school, the entire community rallied around Hunter.
Who got a dad? I got a dad. My dad was in my household. He wasn't in his. You all right? Or you still feeling crazy? My mom and my dad is still married. You okay? All right. The fuck?
Rallied around your family, rallied around Austin. The point being, what was happening actually on the ground and in your lives was so different than what was taking place in the national media, in the conversation, for example, on The View.
Don't get me started on left liberal who have Showtime. But anyway, the community and the school itself, obviously we dedicated the season to Austin, and there was a logo, motto, whatever you want to call it, it's called All In. A stood for Austin. The two ones were his number 11. I stand for integrity. N stands for never quit. And they dedicated the season to him, and that became the motto. And they also presented me and Megan with a framed jersey of Austin with this jersey number 11 that hangs above my fireplace as we speak. But as far as the makeup of the team, I mean, I'd say half the team are blacks. I mean, we don't see color. So all I see is character.
That's a lie.
I don't care what color you are. I want to judge you how you treat people. What's your character like? Your color makes no difference. It doesn't determine your IQ. It doesn't determine your faith. It doesn't determine how much money you have. But your character shows who you are truly. And that's how I judge people.
And you said, don't get me started on it, but to your point, a lot of big voices in the media have talked about this, said, I don't understand. I can play a clip for you, which I'm not going to, of Sonny Hostin on The View saying, I don't understand how this couldn't possibly be self-defense. So what is your judgment of all these people in the media that have spoken on the case?
Well, they're just like anybody else. They don't know me. They don't know Hunter, Austin. They don't know Carmelo. They're looking for their 15 minutes of fame or their clickbait or their clicks.
I think you're doing the same thing, sir. I think you're doing the same thing. I hate to say it. I think you're doing the same thing. You accusing people of doing, that's their jobs. What those people do, the View, those people on The View, they get paid. That's their jobs. Are you getting paid for these interviews, sir? I kind of think you are. I kind of think you are getting paid for these interviews. Because at this point, I mean, you sit up here accusing these people who this is their job. It's their job to speak about current events and what's going on and to state their opinions. That's their job. But are you not getting your 15 minutes of fame right now? I'm just saying, I'm just making a point. You got to think before you speak sometimes.
to monetize the death of my son. I really wish they wouldn't speak about at all. Because one, if that woman said that, she has no idea about the facts of the case, but she wants to spew her public opinion on a platform that reaches millions.
Oh, enough. I can guarantee you he ain't gonna ask him about that racist rant. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
People every day. Do I have that platform? No, but today I have a little platform to say what I'd like. She is completely wrong. And if they want to take me and call me and ask me to be able to view with them, I would gladly fly me up there and let me talk to all of you.
Well, I can promise you more people are watching you right now than watch The View.
It's not hard to believe.
Last thing, Jeff, you said they don't know your son. What would you like the world to know about Austin Metcalf?
Man, I don't think we have enough time. But, I mean, Austin, I'll try to sum it up. He was a leader. He was a God-fearing son. He had compassion. He showed love. He always helped, always was helping his teammates, always helping the younger kids from middle school who were transitioning to high school football. He would go and talk to them and tell them what to expect. He would coach them.
It's just so sad. It's just so sad, the Austin that they describe. And I'm not going to even say they lying about who Austin was towards certain people. It's so sad that they describe him as this kind, loving, gentle, person that's willing to help, and willing to do this and that and the third for other people. But yet, he felt so adamant about Carmelo getting from almost in that tent and going back out in the rain to it led to a tragic incident. So who is he kind and gentle to? Is it specific people? I'm just asking.
Room. He was a leader. When he stepped on that field, he became someone totally different. And he played, I told him once before, I said, son, you play with such controlled rage. And it shows. And for him to have all the accolades and the thing and where he was going.
I said it before when we listened to this, and I said it again, controlled rage. What do you mean controlled rage? Because why would he have rage? And why would he need to control it? Those two words right there to me speaks volumes. Because he's basically trying to say that his son played with discipline. That's would have been a better word to use than controlled rage. Just saying. Why would he need to control his rage? Why would he have rage?
I mean, there's no doubt in my mind he was playing D1 football. But, let's just go a step forward. Maybe there's that 1% chance he does get to the NFL. I'm maybe biased because he's my son, but he had the numbers, the stats, and the size. So the possibility does exist. I don't know about the probability, but the possibility surely exists.
Well, I'm sorry for all that you and your family have been through, and you and I've spoken, and I know you're continuing to go through it. I know you're getting a lot that is completely undeserved and unfortunate out there. So you continue to. But I appreciate you sharing with us, and with the world about Austin.
Well, that's one thing, all in, and this is one of the things that people understand that we did all the time was this. And this is sign language for I love you. If you ever see my boys or whatever, that was kind of like, their thing to tell me, hey, man, I'm thinking about you, I love you. And I just want the world to understand, it all starts with you, and it all starts at home. So as a parent.
It all starts at home. It all starts at home. Powerful statement. True, too. Very true. It all starts at home. Yep.
Do your best. Are your kids? Doesn't mean they're going to turn out right or wrong. It doesn't guarantee that they will live or die.
Now, right here, he said he's a fake and phony bastard. He said you do your best for your kids. Listen to this, because I'm going to play in a minute where this man is going to pretty much go the fuck off on Carmelo's parents who did nothing to him, who did nothing to his son. The only thing they did wrong was birth Carmelo. And I'm going to let y'all listen to the words he spoke about those people. All right? So listen to this. What he said.
Continue to. But I appreciate you sharing with us, and with the world about Austin.
Well, that's one thing, all in, and This is one of the things that people understand that we did all the time was this. And this is sign language for I love you. If you ever see my boys or whatever, that was kind of like, their thing to tell me, hey man, I'm thinking about you, I love you. And I just want the world to understand, it all starts with you and it all starts at home. So as a parent, do your best. Are your kids? Doesn't mean they're going to turn out right or wrong. It doesn't guarantee
It
that.
all starts with you. Do your best with your kids. Doesn't mean they don't always turn out right. Doesn't mean they're not going to make mistakes. And let's talk about what we know of that Carmelo did, that Carmelo parents did. They raised him. From what we've seen, and the reason why a lot of people are so upset, they had a nice house, they had nice cars. They raised them in a, two-parent household. They did so well raising him that he had a damn near 4.0 GPA. They did so well in raising him, he was a outstanding athlete. They did so well raising him that he had, I want to say they said 29 scholarships. They did so well raising him that I bet a lot of y'all probably ain't never heard this before, because you want to know why? They're not talking about this. Fun fact about Carmelo. And please don't be shocked when you hear this. Carmelo once saved a life. Let me say that again. Carmelo once risked his life to save a life. That's how well they raised him. So from what I gathered, the parents weren't perfect, because no parents are perfect, but the parents did their job. Carmelo made that choice to do what Carmelo did, because sometimes, a lot of times, we as parents raise our kids. We teach them right from wrong. But once they go out into that world and in our around outside influences and things of that sort, get themselves into situations, sometimes they make the wrong decisions. But that don't always fall back on the parents. And the parents shouldn't be blamed. The parents shouldn't be cursed out, called a drunk bitch, and this, that, and the third. This man just said it. So why in the fuck? Now, mind you, this interview was did the other day. The racist rant was done a couple of weeks ago. So he's a fucking hypocrite. He's a hypocrite. He's a liar. He's a pretender. He's a manipulator. And he's a fucking racist. I stand on it. And it still don't take away from the fact that his son should be alive today.
Things that people understand that we did all the time was this. And this is sign language for I love you. If you ever see my boys or whatever, that was kind of like, their thing to tell me, hey man, I'm thinking about you, I love you. And I just want the world to understand, it all starts with you and it all starts at home. So as a parent, do your best. Are your kids? Doesn't mean they're going to turn out right or wrong. It doesn't guarantee that they will live or die. But I do believe if you instill your moral values and a moral compass, I think our society is going the wrong direction right now. And us as parents are the only ones that are able to change this, because our kids are the future. And what does our future look like with what we're teaching them right now that is acceptable?
Jeff Metcalf, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell, that is a great point to lead out with, sir. Being as though we finna listen to your rant. Y'all pay attention to his last words. Pay attention. Pay close attention.
And I just want the world to understand, it all starts with you and it all starts at home. So as a parent, do your best. Are your kids? Doesn't mean they're going to turn out right or wrong. It doesn't guarantee that they will live or die. But I do believe if you instill your moral values and a moral compass, I think our society is going the wrong direction right now. And us as parents are the only ones that are able to change this, because our kids are the future. And what does our future look like with what we're teaching them right now that is acceptable?
what does our future look like with us teaching them what's acceptable? Now, this is a man who I'm finna show y'all. This what his son was able to click on live on, what was it, TikTok? His son, Hunter, was able to click on TikTok and see his daddy doing this. Hold on a minute. Or listen to his daddy say these words. Hold on a minute. Hold on 1 minute.
So, start Howard, and you raised one. And the only people that's going to change it are you. Don't blame the white person because we can't change it. Justice doesn't see color. And then at that point, they wouldn't allow us to see our son because now it is a crime scene. So they have to process the body. So for over 2 hours, we can't even see Austin. And by this time, a huge crowd of students, parents, friends is overflowing this hospital. It is so touching and so moving. And we're all so distraught over the news of Austin's passing. That moment, I became totally numb and went into what I call survival function mode. I had to find and buy burial plots, funeral homes, arrangements, so many things that had to be done. And I needed to stay focused. That very first night, our church held an impromptu vigil. Our church holds 1,500 people at Hope Fellowship. It was overflowing. There was over 1,700 people that showed up that night. Very touching. An outpouring from the community, friends, family, even people who didn't know us showed up in support. And I spoke that night about who Austin was. He was a leader, on and off the field. He touched people's hearts in ways others couldn't. He was loved by so many, and so many loved him. I told the story that night, and I told the story when I was diagnosed with cancer in my cancer group. They asked us, define success. And went around the room, and most people, some of the common stuff, I'd like a big house and car and, a lake property or whatever. But when it came my turn, I had a different view. I said, my success will be judged by how many people show up at my funeral. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you go to a funeral, the people that attend are someone, hopefully, you have touched their life in a positive way. Because one thing about people, they don't remember how big your house was, what kind of car you drove, how big your bank account was, where you got your nails done. None of that matters. They'll never forget how you make them feel. Because there's no U-Haul behind a Hershey. You ain't taking nothing with you. You come in with nothing, you go out with nothing. Except for what you leave behind. And what you leave behind is your legacy. Austin's legacy will live forever. I, myself, will make sure, not only myself, but many others, his mother, his brother, family members, communities, we've set up a scholarship in his name at Memorial High School. For every year, there's going to be the Austin Metcalf Scholarship. We want to give back. We want to help people. That's who Austin was. Austin helped people up. He inspired. He promoted. He encouraged younger classmen, his teammates. He was always there, always believing in them. There were so many kids who came up and spoke that night about how Austin touched people's hearts. And that's what you leave, is your legacy, your footprints on hearts. That's how people will be remembered. And for anyone who knew Austin, who loved Austin, that memory will be carried on in their hearts forever. I know I'll say his name from the highest mountaintops till Dad died. That was probably the very worst day of my life. When I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 10, 11 years ago, I thought I was going to die. They told me I had a 50-50 chance. I told God I can't die because I have 2 boys and neither father. I told him it looks good on your college scholarship application. I sound biased on his father, but his numbers don't lie. Go look him up. One game he had more signs sometimes of where I am going because sometimes I feel lost. But that's when I lean into him even more because you're having twins. And I was like, wow. Anybody can be a dad. You want to be a father? That's the person who shows up. No. What is being a parent? The music we listen to? The games we let them play? Are we really being the best parents we can be? What is being a parent? What, you're a financial provider? I pay the bills, I give them a roof, I give them food? No, bro. Anybody can do that. Anybody can be a dad. You want to be a father? That's the person who shows up. That's the person who's present. That's the person who participates. You show love. You still show discipline, but you show respect. You teach them humility. You teach them about God. I believe in my heart, everything starts at home with your parents and how you're raised. Those people are responsible for instilling values, morals, direction, guidance to give you a step up. Because I told my boys always, I want you both to be better than I ever was. Because I will tell you this, I am the only man on the planet that hopes you are going to be better than me. Everybody out in this world, it's a rough world. It's tough. It's a rat race. It's a cutthroat. It's try to get ahead, try to stay with the Joneses. But you got to make sure you stay true to your beliefs. I always told them this also. You are free to make any choice you want in life, but you are not free from the consequences. Unfortunately, this just played out in real life. Because I told them, please don't make a choice that will affect your life forever.
Well, to be honest, both boys made choices that changed their lives forever. I mean, I had to put it that way, but what you're saying is true. But see, you're sitting there just basically pointing towards Carmelo. Of course, Carmelo made a decision that changed the rest of his life, and so did Austin. God rest his soul. They both made. See, and the thing is, you're saying that you raised your son to be a particular way. The Anthonys feel like they raised their son to be a particular way. Both good, right? But both of those boys that day made decisions, right, that changed the rest of their lives. But you're just directing it towards Carmelo, but you got to be fair. With all the pain, all the grief, all the anger, you got to be fair. They both made bad decisions that day. Very bad. Very bad.
Could be a DUI, maybe an unexpected pregnancy. Maybe you kill someone. I don't know, but none of them are going to end up in a good position.
That's true. But you're directing it towards just one. Like, just one of them.
Impulse control is one of the things that today's youth has a problem with because the parents do not give them enough instruction, guidance, or whatever reason. Maybe they're not around. Maybe they don't have a father in the house. I don't know.
I mean, Mr. Metcalf, did you teach your son about authority figures? Or did you teach him how to be a bully? Because you keep talking about what them people taught their son. Right? And I'm not gonna, like, did you teach your son that when there's an issue that there are authority figures that you could report to or you should report to? I mean, you just so one-sided, and I get it. I know people that think like you. I live in the South. So I know people, come across people every day that think like you. But okay.
No, but people said, "Oh, your kids are bullies. You come, you're divorced. It's a split parent home." I got news for you. We live 12 minutes apart. I saw my kids. I hunted with my kids.
Don't matter if y'all live 12 minutes apart. You the one trying to make it seem like it starts in the home. All people speaking about is the fact that Carmelo parents are married, still together in the home. He was raised in a 2-parent home. Your kids were not. It don't matter. It being 12 minutes from where they live don't make you weren't in the home, sir. They were not raised in the home with you. And why not? Can you tell us why you wasn't in the home, sir? Can you tell us why your ex-wife is now married to another man, sir? Can you tell us, since you want to be graphic, can you tell us why another man was raising your boys on a daily basis? So what, you live 12 minutes away? What the fuck that mean? There's a lot of kids running around here who daddy live around the corner, up the street, and they don't see him. I ain't saying that's the case with you, but I'm just saying. I got a point for every motherfucking point you make.
Fish for my kids. I never once abandoned them. Nothing. We co-parent.
Well, one could think that not being in the house with them is abandonment, but that's not for me to say.
The whole time. Megan is an excellent mother. She took care of those boys. I showed them the man side of life. She showed them the other side.
You said she took care of. What the fuck did you do? You should have said we took care of them boys, even though y'all didn't do it together. Love to know why, though.
We worked congruently together. Our boys were very well-rounded.
So what do you think Carmelo's parents did? They were in the house together. They did things together. You two were apart. Period.
Very diversified. We don't see color. We're not racist.
You keep saying that shit, but you lying. You're a liar. You're a liar.
Friends of all diversities, nationality, ethnicities. It doesn't matter. I'm like God. God doesn't see color.
Do you know most racists say that I got black friends? That's a tagline. That's a tagline for most racists. I got black friends. Yep, it's a cliche. Say it all the time.
Justice doesn't see color. Hate doesn't see color. Love doesn't see color. If you put on those glasses and you see color as an individual, you need to look in the mirror. You need to reevaluate who you are. Do you contribute to society? About my son, while I'm under a gag order and can't reach me of a soulless individuals. I'm surprised, honestly, by human race and mankind. And you see color as an individual, you need to look in the mirror. You need to reevaluate who you are. Do you contribute to society, or are you a detriment?
Shane Runner. What's that say? Rummer. Shane, are you white? I'm racist towards white. Are you white? Fuck you, Shane. And that don't mean fuck all white people. I mean fuck you. How about that? Mars escort them out. The fuck you mean? Don't question me. Don't question me and my shit. If you see racism, get the fuck out. How about that? The fuck you here for?
I'm surprised, honestly, by human race and mankind. Of the despicable, vile display of the most uncompassionate, unempathetic, uncaring, soulless individuals who choose to monetize the death of a dead child or speak very derogatory.
You're monetizing, sir. I hate to say it, but you and your wife are monetizing off the death of your son. Shut the GoFundMe down, sir. I'm not even saying you're not entitled to whatever support, but you keep talking about people monetizing from your son's death, and you're one of the main ones doing it. Shut the GoFundMe down. Shut the GoFundMe down, sir. Your son is laid to rest. God rest his soul. Shut the fucking GoFundMe down. Stop it. Just stop it. Do you know how many people in this world done lost children and don't have no fucking GoFundMes up? GoFundMe for what? If it's not about money. Money ain't gonna bring them back. The fuck you talking about?
Of them, or make memes and talk all over the internet. Passionate, unempathetic, uncaring, soulless individuals who choose to monetize the death of a dead child or speak very derogatory of him or make memes and talk all over the internet about my son.
Some of you bastards are ignorant, and I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. Quit acting like you know all the facts and don't know that this man got a damn GoFundMe up. Ignorance will get you kicked the fuck up out of my room. So if you gonna come in here and you gonna state an opinion, please be informed. You bastards know that this man got a GoFundMe up. Don't fucking play with me. You know that Austin mama and them got one up. So why the fuck, Carmelo, so why the fuck you don't know he got one? And his wife. 2 separate ones, you idiots. They got 2 separate GoFundMes up.
While I'm under a gag order and can't respond. It's like being tied to a chair and someone is slapping your face back and forth. And you can do nothing about it but take it. Well, that day is ended. The muzzle's off. And all you people, I'm telling you up front right now, this is a warning. Karma's a bitch. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I don't have to come after you. It's going to take care of itself. People,
Another one of them Christians who use God as a personal security guard and shit. Another one of them Christians say, God gonna get you. You spoke on me. God gonna get you. But what God gonna do to you? Because you speaking on people. You spoke on them parents. And them parents ain't said shit about you. So what God gonna do to you?
I'm going to see you for who you really are now. And if you want to talk individuals, we can, because I couldn't speak about this in court. But I can speak freely now because the gag order is lifted. Tiffany Billions, Wackadoo, McAdoo, whatever her last name is, I'm not going to throw insults at you because I'm not going to lower myself to your level.
Listen.
But you're despicable.
Listen.
Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact.
This is him talking about Drew and Kayla. Carmelo's parents, who ain't did shit to this man. Ain't said one bad public word about him in the public. Called them cowards because they weren't at the sentencing. Called them cowards because they wasn't there to listen to him curse and talk shit to their son. Called them cowards because they weren't there. Don't know why they wasn't there. Don't give a fuck as to why they wasn't there. But called them cowards. One could say you was a deadbeat dad because you wasn't in the home. But let's listen.
But you're despicable. Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact. You abandoned your kid. You left him there. I guess he's no more use to you because
You abandoned your kid. You the one in the household with your kid. You abandoned him. You abandoned your kid. The fuck?
I'm going to lower myself to your level. But you're despicable. Drew Anthony, Kayla, you're cowards. You wouldn't even show up for your son's sentencing or victim statement impact. You abandoned your kid. You left him there. I guess he's no more use to you because you can't get any more GoFundMe money or GoSend.
Well, at least you still getting GoFundMe money over your child's death. They couldn't get no more, huh? They couldn't get no more GoFundMe money. That's why they left him in the courtroom. What about you, though? You still get money from your son, and your son is gone. So what are we saying here, sir? Why are you still collecting money? What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you still collecting money? Huh?
Money. You are grifters. You should be ashamed of yourself. You raised that child, and I swear to God, CPS should come check on those other 3 that you still have.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. He said you raised that child, and CPS should come check on the other 3. Oh, wow. Such a godly thing to say. Wow. Should CPS check on Hunter? Should CPS check on Hunter? Because, see, I watched Hunter, when he finally emerged during the trial, well, after the trial, and stood up next to your ex-wife at that press conference. I watched him very closely. And Hunter is suffering. If you pay attention to Hunter, Hunter's eyes are so dark around his eyes. Hunter's suffering. Are you checking on him? Because it seems like you spending a lot of time, on interviews and making 2-hour TikTok live. Let me ask you something, Mr. Metcalf. Did you ever think of what Hunter would think about this live stream that you're doing right now? Because I know, me being a parent that lost her son. Yeah, my son was 24, by the way. He wasn't 17. He was 24. But I know after my son passed, every decision I made in the aftermath, when it came to what happened to him, I thought about how he would look at me or how he would see me in my responses to what was going on in the moment. Like every decision I made, it seemed like every decision I made in the aftermath, I wanted him to be proud of. I wanted him to be proud of me. That was in picking out what he was buried in, picking out his casket, picking out his shoes. Oh, my son was a shoe person. He was a whole shoe person. Jordan fanatic. Everything I did for my son in the aftermath, I wanted to do, and I wanted him to be proud of it. Mr. Metcalf, what do you think Hunter thinks about this live stream you did? I'm just curious.
You never once admitted or took accountability. You try to play victim. The real victim.
What are the parents supposed to be taking accountability for, sir? Maybe you should tell them people what they're supposed to be standing accountable for. Maybe you should tell them, because I'm confused as to what they're supposed to be taking accountability for. You keep saying that. But what are they supposed to be taking accountability for?
You are grifters. You should be ashamed of yourself. You raised that child, and I swear to God, CPS for sure check on those other 3 that you still have. You never once admitted or took accountability. You tried to play victim. The real victim is the one who died, not the one who shoved a knife in his chest. I come to pray with you and show the world we can close the gap of this unbelievable racial divide. And what you do? You widen the gap even further. You hire a convicted baby-shaking felon who's only in it for the money, who gives you bad advice, kicks me out of a press conference. Oh, funny, I was somewhere I wasn't supposed to be, but I left. When asked, I didn't stab anyone.
No, you didn't, sir. You had to be escorted out. You're a liar. You're a liar. You had to be escorted out, sir. You are a fucking liar. Do you not remember that shit played out on the news? You did not. You was not asked to leave and you just left. You had to be escorted out. You shouldn't have been there in the first damn place. Mr. Peace. I want peace. I want to pray. Coming in there looking like you part of the mafia. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody's stupid.
And then you proceeded to gaslight me with your convicted felon, quote, advocate? Minister? Minister of what? Minister irrelevant? Minister of bullshit? How about Minister fuck you? Y'all think I'm a saint? I'm no saint. I'm as human as you. I have emotions. Just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean I don't sin, because I don't walk on water and I don't turn into wine. And anybody else can, step up. Don't become kicking rocks in my backyard. Look in your own.
I know that's right.
The display of adults on the internet. If your children saw how you acted, would you be proud? Or is that what you teach them?
Wait a minute. How the hell can you ask them folks if their children saw that? The only thing them children were going to see with their parents or a press conference where they would talk, what? Or do you realize what you're doing in the moment? And I go back and I ask the question again. Would Hunter be proud of that rent you went on, sir? With your child? Be proud of this 2-hour rent that you went on, sir? They went out to gather themselves, and then court convened, and they weren't allowed back in, so they didn't just abandon. How do you know that, Rhonda? Because I didn't even know that. And I did question why they left. I did. I was one of the first ones to say, where the hell were they when his sentence was read? I did wonder about that. So how do you know that's what happened, Rhonda? Because I haven't heard them speak on it. I haven't heard anybody speak on it. Why they wasn't in there. Because see, that statement right there, to be honest, Rhonda, see, I can't do that. That's why I don't entertain a lot of people, because a lot of lies are being told on these different platforms. And unless I hear them say it in an interview, I don't believe it. Because this is the thing. They are Carmelo's parents. There's no way in this world anybody can convince me unless they come out and say it, and it's proven. Dominique said it. Oh, wow. I've listened to every interview he's done. I've never heard him say that. Can you send me the interview where he said that? Because that's baffling to me, because they're Carmelo's parents. Why would the courts not let them back in, of all people? You know, I just, can you send me where you heard that at?
Do you teach them that racism is okay? Do you teach them? Do you program your kids to hate, to kill? From day one, I said this was.
Did you teach your sons to bully, to harass young cheerleaders, to call the one cheerleader out of her name, call her fat? Did you teach your kids that, sir? Did you teach your kids what you're displaying right now? Thank you, Rhonda. I love to hear it, though, for real. Did you teach your kids to act the way you're behaving in this rant? I'm just curious. I'm just saying. I've never heard it either, Ms. B. I think we reacted to every Dominique interview that was out there.
Never about race. Please don't make it about race and don't politicize it. And what did you do? You chose both. The race card, black fatigue, it's real. I'm sorry. You have embarrassed your own culture and race. Don't get me wrong. We got a lot of people.
But see, then too, he's speaking as if Carmelo's parents made it about race. If I'm not mistaken, Jake Lane, what the man name he in my playlist? We supposed to be reacting to him today, but we'll do it tomorrow. Jake Lane made it about race. Them parents never made it about race. They didn't. The only thing them parents said, they felt like they felt like people lied to them. They felt like they shouldn't have trusted certain people. They also said they felt like he didn't receive a fair trial. How is that making it about race? Them parents never made it about race. See, you blaming the wrong people. Hey, Be Pretty. Hello, Truth. Hey, it's been said by people that attended that the parents were removed from court because the because Carmelo's mom cried out, but they didn't remove Austin's mom when she cried out. Where did you hear that at? Y'all gotta send me where y'all heard these things. That damn mailman scared me. Y'all gotta send me where y'all heard it. I'll be glad to play it and talk about it. Because I ask the question all the time. Well, I don't ask it anymore, but I did ask the question as to why the parents weren't in there. And then this man sitting here saying what he's saying, and he was there when the mama was removed and know the mama was removed, then this is even sicker than I thought. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Pretty girl, that's idiotic. I'm sorry. That's idiotic. Did you not hear the press conference that woman put on when she spoke about Austin and his parents? Did you not hear what she said about Austin and his parents? Did you hear that press conference? Y'all people got to stop being so ignorant and just putting shit in people's chats. And definitely be pretty. Don't put another content creator's name in my chat unless I ask. And I watched that interview with her, and I didn't hear that guy say that. Rhonda, I didn't hear him say that. I watched it. I reacted to it on my channel. Now, if I missed it, I'll digress. I'll even go back and listen to it. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. But I could have missed it. I'll go back and listen. Is it he's just spinning the narrative? That's okay, be pretty, but let me stop reading the chat. I heard it, just not 100% sure where. Okay. I love to hear it because I was wondering that myself. I would never not be there when my son was being sentenced ever, but I get what you're saying, Ron. I get what you're saying.
Embarrass the shit out of me too. But you guys, you got a patent on that shit. And the only people that's going to change it are you. Don't blame the white person because we can't change it. But you're going to blame the white person for every fucking thing else. We're the bad ones. We're the one that held you down. Guess what? You can do everything in America that I can do. Tell me one thing you can't do that I can't do. We all have equal rights. What's it say? All men are created equal. The First Amendment protects free speech.
All men are created equal, sir, but that doesn't mean that all men are treated equal. Stop it. We saw it in real time. We saw where Carmelo committed the crime he committed and got 35 years. We saw a young white boy commit the same crime. He got 10. All men are created equal. All men are just not treated equal. Stop it.
I'm for it. Free speech doesn't guarantee you safety. Perfect example, Charlie Kirk, a man who I admired, looked up to. You know why? Were solid. He was a good man. Taken too soon also.
But he's not a racist. But he supports a racist because we know that guy was a racist. We know that guy was a racist. Kirk, God rest his soul. He didn't deserve to die either. Nobody deserves to die, no matter how they feel, what their thoughts are, what their opinions are. They shouldn't die behind them. But that guy was a racist. And you say you support him wholeheartedly. You're a racist, sir. You're a racist. And so was he.
Some people called him racist. Some people call me racist.
You are.
Does it make me racist?
Yup.
No. My grandfather once told me,
no, not being called a racist make you racist. Your actions and the words that come out of your mouth make you a racist. Yeah.
other people think of you, son, is none of your business. I didn't quite understand it then, but I understand it now. The only person that judges me is God.
Mm-hmm.
And God sees all.
Mm-hmm. His sound went out.
Continue.
We're good? Where do we leave off? Okay. So, back to the parenting situation. When I was a kid, my generation was the best generation to ever grow up. We were the last generation. Not stay inside and play games. Or you go down to the library and use the... Do you think it's a coincidence that society started to decay? And I own it. Now, some people will ask you, do you know Jeff Metcalf? Yeah. What do you think about him? Back home. I could care less about the color of your skin. We all bleed the same color.
Mm.
The mental capacity of others sometimes astonishes me.
Mm.
At someone at a certain age, let's just say 40, 50,
Have you watched No Cap page? He has a lot of good. No, I know of his page. I peeked in. I don't care for his page. You just gonna keep putting content creators in my chat? I've went over there and I've listened, and I don't care for his page.
I would assume, and this is my fault for making assumptions, that you would have common sense, that you'd be intelligent. You could make a difference between right and wrong. Nah. Who you want to be? You chart your course. Guess what? It's not going to go the way you think. Promise. If there's a person who exists on this entire planet who's never had a problem, one, in their life, please step up. I want to meet you because I want to know how you do that. It's not possible.
Hold on, y'all. I'm not gonna listen to this whole thing.
Tiffany, bro, you look like a fucking water buffalo. We're gonna start hurling inside. It kills you from the inside. It's like me drinking poison and hoping it kills you. It doesn't work that way. You gotta let that stuff go, or it will kill you. It will eat you up inside.
He's talking about.
So when people ask me how can
He's talking about hate, but he's sitting up full of hate.
go viral, I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such a little boy.
Listen,
how many lies did you sit and type up on? Hey, with the man you die. I mean, this is all your personal choices. It's for deceive. Life is not easy. God doesn't say that. God says there's going to be trials and tribulations. God says there's going to be people out there who will deceive you. People out there, I mean, if we want to go back Old Testament, eye for an eye, Sodom and Gomorrah, turn to stone, man lays with a man, you die. I mean, this is all your personal choices. It's none of my business. I stay in my lane. Just don't come in my lane with your bullshit. I respect everyone until they disrespect me. I've been disrespected by so many people, so many times while I've had to sit here and take it. I'm gonna tell you right now, Charleston White, you think you're funny? We'll see who's laughing. Drew Anthony, you're a pussy and a coward, and you raised one. Kayla, you drunk bitch.
Oh, you you said Drew Howard, you a pussy and you a coward, and you raised one. Wow. Drew Anthony, Carmelo's dad. You said he's a pussy and a coward and he raised one. So you're not only attacking the parents, you attacking Carmelo. Okay. That's cute. That's grown. That's Christian. Yeah.
You think you're funny? We'll see who's laughing. Drew Anthony, you're a pussy and a coward, and you raised one. Kayla, you drunk bitch. What'd you do to that boy to make him stab somebody? My God, what kind of mother are you?
Wow.
Hey, Kevin Hayes, you fucking liar. Day after it happened, how many lies did you sit and type up on your...
You know what? I think that's it. I think that's enough. What y'all think? I'm not going to sit and listen to that shit again, but yeah. I think that's enough. Yep. I think that says a whole lot about who Jeff Metcalf is, how he thinks, how he moves, and what he taught his sons. Yep. Yep. Oh, we didn't hear the watermelon felon part. Let's hold on a minute. Hold on. I want to replay all these for the people that don't know. Yeah. Go to that again.
I've been disrespected by so many people, so many times. Why I had to sit here and take it. I'm gonna tell you right now, Charleston White, you think you're funny? We'll see who's laughing. Drew Anthony, you're a pussy and a coward, and you raised one. Kayla, you drunk bitch. What'd you do to that boy to make him stab somebody? My God, what kind of mother are you? Hey, Kevin Hayes, you fucking liar. Day after it happened, how many lies did you sit and type up on your keyboard, you big keyboard warrior? You a big tough man. You still live in Baton Rouge? Remember you said you'd come to Frisco, buddy? You're supposed to find me. I thought we could sit down and talk. That's all you do. Talk, Mr. Squeaky Clean. You're the only one in your family without a damn record. I guess that's something to brag about in your culture.
Wow.
You people hang your hat on the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Mm.
Let me make one up. Y'all can let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for Mello, okay? Because he was such a little boy, I was trying to portray. How about Watermelon Felon? How's that one strike you? I hope he enjoyed his first night in that cell last night, because he's going to have many nights to think about what the fuck he did. I forgave him, so I don't carry the hate and the anger.
Boy, if you don't stop talking about forgiveness, you got hate written all over your face, and it's coming out your mouth. You is such a liar, and you're so it just come naturally, right? Lying just come naturally to you people, since y'all love to use you people. I'm done. You're the worst, sir. You're the worst. You're the worst. Now, your son didn't deserve to die. He didn't. Your son did not deserve to die. He shouldn't have died that day. He shouldn't have. But he also didn't deserve to be raised in a household with, I ain't going to say raised in a household because I don't know how long you've been out the household. But he also didn't deserve to be directed or guided by you. You're trash. You're trash. And I said it, and I stand on it. Thank you, Miss Lynn. Prayers for everybody. I'm going to get out of here, y'all. We'll be back tomorrow with more. I done had enough for today. Shout out to my moderators. I love y'all so much. I appreciate y'all so much. Shout out to my other true supporters that were in here to support this live stream. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it. For anybody that's new, for any new subscribers, okay? Thank y'all so much for joining the family. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all come back on tomorrow. We'll be talking about some more on this case, okay? With that being said, y'all have a blessed, beautiful rest of your day, all right? Everybody, I mean everybody. Be safe, be blessed, and never stress, okay? Thank you, y'all. Truth seekers, stand up, okay? And we out.